Ooh.
Feel the tension, devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I want to taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out.
For victory or GE fighting? Two unknown commodities taking the stage. Unsure what we're going to get here today. Could very well be an absolute gigabanger, you know, especially with these two teams that are really just looking to try new things and grow here in Sao Paulo.
And trying new things is exactly that. You have two IGLs so experienced on the international stage, coming back in with rebuilt rosters, with young talent, and with different philosophies. Only one of them can continue.
It's going to be a tough one. We'll see, though. You can see, I mean, the GE players very much want to get into their seats. The rest of Vitality still huddled together, talking about the game plan, likely saying, let's keep some cool heads here. So all that younger talent, GE looking like they are chomping at the bit to go into the map draft.
Map select is a complete question mark. GE
Oh, yeah.
has not played at all in the offseason, and they'll ban away Ascent. I guess that's the map that they're not so interested. We have no idea what they're going to want to play.
I mean,
there.
there's so many different components to this team coming across, from different rosters.
I love it.
That we can't really ever get a read as far as what they are going to be going for, but they're actually going to give a split.
That's going to be interesting. Again, we have the questions of who's going to be playing the duelist on this team. What roles are slotting in? Will we see a Raise? Who's going to be picking that up? GE is a complete question mark. Vitality, more of a known quantity. They've played in the offseason, and Pearl was their most played map 5 times during the offseason. They looked fantastic on it, but that was in the old meta. Chamber's been nerfed now. I would expect something new compositionally.
Yep. See, have either of these teams, especially for the side of GE, given that they're so new, have they been working with things like Harbor, the things that are so new into the meta? That's another question I have. I was about to say, do they feel prepared on Lotus? And they must, because they're floating into the final map. This is wild.
I hope we get the second 2 maps. Anyway, this is the 3 newest maps added to the pool. This series is going to be very, very exciting because we know about the philosophy out of game for both these squads. But is their approach going to be in game? Will Aaron bring in some of that XZ style? Do they play a slow split like when Def was calling their attack sides with 1 player lurking and so many 4-1s into mid? Or do they come out with something new? How much will we transfer over from old versions of these teams?
And I'm really leaning on Aaron as well as Bungled here, right? The veterans, the leaders in the field. They're going to be the ones that there's a lot of pressure on these guys, right? And Aaron knows that. We've been talking to him a fair amount here, while we're in Sao Paulo, and he's just got a great head on his shoulders.
I mean,
but here we go, Prime Gaming Agent Select.
That is the most played agents for GE. You can see everyone's a duelist player but Aaron.
3 raises on the side of Vitality as well, but Texture, okay, you asked the question, was anybody going to be playing Raise here for this team? We're on split, so of course they're going to. So Texture's going back to a pick that we have not seen for a very long time. I looked it up. June 18th, he played it in the upper bracket in the playoffs against Spear Gaming, but he's only played it 17 times compared to 118 games on Jet.
Twistin and Molesy both on this double duelist composition. We saw that work so incredibly well for Loud. It absolutely dominated against NRG. For a new team, that can be difficult to shut down. I'm interested to see how GE answers.
Let's just do quick predictions real fast. Who's winning map 1?
Vitality.
Vitality.
I'm going to go for GE.
Oh, the desk is split up here. Well, I hope that our casters are ready to go because here's the thing. We're all set up for map number 1. So let's go ahead and send it over to our casters. My brothers from another British mothers. We got Brennan Sideshow.
Thank you very much, GB. Let's get into this match. I am so damn excited to watch this match in particular, Josh, honestly. Out of any of the first round matches, I'm not even kidding, this is the one that I've been most excited to watch. And I know
not Cloud9 Paper X,
not
Cloud9
Paper X,
Fnatic.
not Sentinels Fnatic. It is this match right here because it is the high-risk, high-reward roster of global esports, pooling together these duelist players, seeing what can work on this big stage as well. Where
ambitious project.
These top players into a top team.
Yeah, and then it's the ambitious project from APAC coming up against a dark horse team from EMEA. It's not like Vitality is star-studded in the sense that we all know these players will accomplish so much. There's Bungled, obviously, who we'll talk about in a bit, but I think the actual talent on the roster is super high. I think it's interesting that the desk is split. I would say Vitality are a little favored here, but there are just so many unknowns, it's very difficult to call anybody a strong favorite. We don't know how these rosters are going to perform. But I do think if Global Esports is able to come out with a win here, it says more. It's more of a validation for their project, and it gives you hope that these massive global rosters where you're trying to overcome language barriers and cultural barriers and getting all of your players in the same place, and SK Rossi only just getting to play with the rest of his team and meet them because of visa issues. They have had to overcome so many hurdles that I think a win here today would be validating for the whole project.
Validating would mean so much for all the players, obviously, but in particular as well. I mean, a name you mentioned, Josh, SK Rossi, this guy representing India, being the pride of his country, honestly, playing on the global stage like this. And there's been many moments where he's described, the arduous path that he's had to even get here in the first place as a player.
Yeah, he's such a confident guy, but when you listen to his backstory, and Global Esports did a documentary on him recently that was fantastic, you should definitely go and watch it, but he's talking about how he didn't really see his parents too much during his childhood because they were working so much to put food on the table, and he just randomly decides to go to a gaming cafe one time and then realizes, hey, I might be good enough to be the best in this cafe. Oh wait, maybe I can be the best in South India. Maybe I can be the best in India. And that process took so long, was so arduous with him. I mean, making a deal with a gaming cafe for some free time that he would just stream voluntarily for them in order to get free time because he didn't have the money to play. And then his winnings would all go into travel. I mean, this guy, 𝐒𝐿 is the definition of started from the bottom, now we're here. He is unbelievable, his story. And he does have the weight of the Indian subcontinent on his shoulders. I don't think that has amounted to pressure for him. I think he's just excited. When you talk to him, it is just excitement and confidence, nothing else.
Now we are ready to get into it. The pistol round here, map number 1 between Global Esports and Vitality. No time being wasted already. A fast take up towards A. Rapid the flash play as well to push them back. And no ground really being gained as of right now. Trailblazer used in response to that one. Looks like a boom bot also going to be queued. And look at the fight that's being taken. A call made. An aggressive one at that to try and push through the smoke and collapse onto the Vitality players. But they hold their ground. They do survive.
Global Esports really trying to find a timing, but Vitality were aware of it. Quite nice control for a double duelist comp, which would normally be playing really aggro. There's Zender with 3 in the round. That Ghost looking so precise. And it puts everything on the shoulders of the new IGL A10, North American player that we've seen at these tournaments before.
Oh, and the players are weak! Beam them down, a single clip was all that was necessary.
And 10 HP on 𝐒𝐿 with the spike.
This is more than winnable. A10 really slowing down this round as well. Didn't overstep himself.
Bren, the other part to this too is 𝐒𝐿 has a frenzy. That's actually quite difficult to kill A10 before 10 damage is done. A frenzy v frenzy battle, you normally exchange some damage.
Contact play, does A10 even realize? Jumping up onto the box, trying to catch an unusual angle, but 𝐒𝐿 missing a shot to the snake bite. Oh my goodness, pushes 𝐒𝐿 away for but a moment. That's a fight want to be taken. A10 moving forwards, making a lot of noise though. 𝐒𝐿 very aware that he's not playing there, but the positioning is known, and now a nade pushes him forwards, running down, 65 health, but run and gun is the play. And 3 kills in a round for the IGL player, team captain for them.
What a clutch, what a great way to begin. A10 leaning on that confidence to win a 1v3. The Red Bull clutch coming in there. But that was a tense pistol that could have gone either way for sure. And I think Split is such a great map to showcase A10 and bonecold's strengths, the 2 IGLs of either team. Because A10's new to the IGL role, but he used to call the defense sides for 𝐿𝐿. And Split was an amazing map for 𝐿𝐿, an amazing map on the defense side too. So this is comfort zone for A10. They're also even playing a comp that looks really similar to stuff that 𝐿𝐿 ran in the past. And you look over at Vitality, sure, bonecold isn't on the Omen anymore, but this is the same comp that Ascend used to run when they were at the top of the world, the best team in the world on Split. Times have changed, metas have changed. And we get to see which team and which player, which IGL's idea comes out today.
The bold beginning for Texture. Maybe expecting that he could have gained some control of A main, but pays for that with his life. Let's hand over that Spectre as well to Twiston now. So Vitality didn't invest too much into this round, only this, I believe, just the Sheriffs, it seems like, across the board, but an exchange of weapons as well. Players that might be a little bit healthier. And okay, fight being taken, bonecold, he spotted. Beam down there with a wall play. Global Esports are going to be aware that this is a fake play into B. Obviously, the side already being taken. 𝐒𝐿 going to be hearing all of this, including this plant going down. So now Global Esports to react in kind, see if they can surround.
It's a very open plant. And also, look at the deliberate cage that Sender put in the middle of the site. I assume this is for Twiston to play around later on in the post.
They're being played by Sender. What a shot! What? You've got to be joking. Just absolutely rattling them off one after the other. There was no trade in sight, yet still. Dangerous task ahead. What can they do with a weaponry though? Got to hold this one down. Neural Theft already revealing the positioning. 𝐒𝐿 moving across onto the side, but he has fallen. All down to A10 once more. One player isolated, but time is running low. And at the back of the site, the crossfire was there. And honestly, just sheer heroics coming out of these Vitality players to just manage to turn that around into their favor.
Oh, it's all Sender, isn't it? He's 6-1 right now. And the double kill on the players trying to retake is everything there. Absolutely everything. Sender is incredibly talented. I was watching his games, been watching him for a while. Used to play Breach on a full Lithuanian team, and then he's gone over to play Chamber very recently, and now on the Cypher. He's played a lot. He's mega talented. For my money, he might be the most talented player in the server right now, but people like Texture and people like Twiston or 𝐒𝐿 will certainly give him a run for his money.
Just containment here for Vitality, looking to see if they can punish this play on the eco. esports, look at that, just trying to see if they can collect any more kills, and they're making it incredibly aware. Vitality able to just hold these off angles, weakened as well on the players.
And that's rough. 𝐒𝐿 is one away from an ultimate now. And considering that this has been, you know, a weird situation where Vitality win the second round, it actually delays the rifle round by at least one. Right? Because Vitality are now going to, you know, it's going to be round 4 by the time we get a proper clash. And that means that 𝐒𝐿 has an extra round to get a big ultimate online that he can use to turn the tide of that fight. So I think things are starting to look a little worrying here for global esports. If 𝐒𝐿 can get in a good position, and considering that they've got, you know, 2 Phantoms, a Vandal, this next round, they'll need to win it.
Building up these players, Josh, as well, in this particular round as well. Sender as a player. Would he whiff it a little bit there, but no, eventually containing. But speaking of Salah as well, who was the coach for Vitality, and honestly, it feels like I haven't been able to avoid them. I've just been seeing them every time at breakfast in the elevators. I've just been always just meeting up with Vitality players and the coach as well. But listen, if you want to sound like a god on the desk, hype up Sender, because according to their coach, listen, of course he's going to say this, but he said that he's currently playing like the best player in Europe.
Yeah.
His own words, obviously quite biased.
Sounds like he's gassing his own player up, but I also think that there's probably a shred of truth to that, because Sender does look fantastic in the run-up in the off-season. This is a massive round, though.
Yep. Dash across. 𝐒𝐿 just hoping to try and take that angle, but Twiston, oh, look at this.
Okay, so this is
much pace.
This is going to be a pace, but I'm not sure they were aware that Aaron was going to use his ult in mid. Obviously now, Aaron and Monya are not in a great spot, but there's no boomboard or really informational tools they can use to help them get inside the pit.
Maybe the plan was for Twiston to try and backstab here, because the rest of Vitality have been lurking, creeping, and crawling all the way up into B main, and that's going to be Q for the ultimate here. Slow orb at the feet of 𝐒𝐿, and no one is going to be on this site, so thinking a couple of layers ahead here, but despite in mid, that is important. Twiston, he wins it versus Monya, and he's going to be backing away with his life. Plan starting to go down now.
That's the second time that Monya's pushed through a smoke and taken an unfavorable fight. Bazzi, though, responding, takes down Sender, who's been a menace in some of these rounds. Twiston is miles away from the action if global esports can hurry this one up, but the Sage Walls are just delaying everything.
Yeah, just a cross-section for it, and no one really aware of it. Destrian does move over to the other side of the wall, but a double face there. Drop down onto a high-low setup. Destrian had to TP back onto to try and help him out, and 𝐒𝐿 will be falling, but time running low now, and he did not know where Twiston is. Dash enabled, moves forwards. Trying to contest this one in a 1v1, but Aaron, he has to stick it. The percentage play, he needs to try and get half, and it sets up Twiston for the easy slam dunk win.
And just think about how different the round could have been if Twiston had been dealt with and cleared out of ropes when they knew he'd gone into there. They were aware that Twiston was somewhere around. Possibly they thought he escaped after he got up to heaven, but I would have thought that global esports could keep a better track of the Jet player there. Interesting pathing from Vitality early on, and it pays dividends for them in the post plan. Now global esports are in a pretty horrible position here. Their comp should be great on the defense side, and they're going to be looking down the wrong end of a 1-4 beginning, despite the heroics coming out from their IGL Aaron.
We'll see a timeout being taken now for global esports. Biding their time, seeing if they can cook up anything in particular. Texture is one away from the ultimate. He's going to be able to get that showstopper, assuming on the other end of this round. By playing for an overkill, or just dying to one of them.
And the players with the least experience here on global are 𝐒𝐿 and Monya. Right? For 𝐒𝐿, he's been playing a lot domestically, but he hasn't had an opportunity like this on the big stage just yet. And those two players have yet to really get going in this match so far. Sure, there's only been 4 rounds, but both sat at the bottom of the leaderboard, 0 and 4, and Monya's had a couple of weird pushes through a smoke. 𝐒𝐿 got caught out while he was just knifing the wall, a little bit unaware. So maybe these players need to settle into the groove a little before you see the talent being demonstrated. For Vitality, I mean, if you smell blood in the water and you realize that global are a little shaky to start a match, you got to hammer that home.
Yeah. We'll see if they're going to be pouncing on that opportunity, but so far in this match, what I have been noticing is there's a lot of presence towards Vitality. Yeah. Heavy emphasis being played from them, where they're just trying to take that A ramp control, get a player into position, and Doesn't seem to be changing things up too much in this round, keeping it simple for them. Paranoia, Twister moves forwards, and the one-and-done position is checked from 𝐒𝐿. Weaker guns, obviously, from them. Bazzi just trying to play up behind the wall, seeing if he can get anything done, but very well executed so far.
And the defensive Viper wall actually allows Vitality to come in without having to worry about a lot of angles on A. So Global need to be aware of how best to play these rounds.
Punish there as you're trying to take the play. Texture tries to make the most of this one, but again, just can't withstand that kind of pressure when he's up against the rifles.
Yeah, body's hitting the floor. All right, now here's the important round for Global Esports again. They have massive ultimates to work with, especially textures. And I think setting texture up in A heaven almost guarantees value out of his ultimate. Vitality have not been going for big bursts. But actually, Vitality's comp, one of the big reasons why this used to be a meta comp on Split is that it has a lot of variety in where you play on the map. It's good for bursts on both sides, but it can take mid-control too. However, texture's set up in B heaven, and it looks like Vitality this time are making a play towards mid. They'll just use Sender's cages to apply some pressure over on A ramp, and instead...
Wow, nice one.
Just a bit of raw spam, yeah, straight through the smokes. Also just trying to lurk up behind it. Trailblazer gets good information, and there's 𝐒𝐿. Head taken clean off from Sender. Trying to catch that lurk, but obviously his positioning was known prior, and speaking of heads being taken off, Munyet needs to play a bit more carefully there. Paranoia dash forwards from Twister, a play to be made from him perhaps, but he's now stuck in this position, and there's going to be that showstopper. That was a direct hit. What in the Lord's name am I watching?
Boncold's attempting to create some pressure in B with this Sage Wall, hoping that it opens up the middle of the map, but it hasn't at all. With Sender dying and with the Sage Wall being placed from Rossi, the rest of Global Esports can completely flush out this hit in mid.
Yeah, man, they know exactly where Destrian is as well. Pure confidence on the side of Global Esports. No wasted moments from them. Smoke across the cut forwards. Destrian, though, up close and personal. And there's another punish.
And what a big round from Rossi and Monya, the players that we were waiting to see anything from. 0 and 4 coming into this round, and they get 3 kills between them out of the 5.
Yeah, huge plays.
Yeah, SK Rossi using the utility from Bazzi to flush out Sender early, and then Monya just spamming through the smoke, gets this first kill, and then playing around the smokes quite nicely, but really like the way that Rossi has picked up the operator, flushed out Sender, and used the Sage Wall. Good utility usage, and good punish. Otherwise, Sender's going to be a menace over there on A.
Absolutely. A good adaptation. Getting the operator in his hands. In fact, switching up the positioning as well, because SK Rossi now not playing towards the A ramp area, but that is where the majority of Vitality are. So what is the answer here? A bit of random spam coming through. Slow orbs. Multi already into the back of the side. He satchels up on top of the box, actually. Holding this angle, yet still 𝐒𝐿 anchoring into the back of the site. Flash to push them back, and then they did push 𝐒𝐿 out wide. It was capitalized on by the Vitality players. You can see that Sender have managed to get themselves in, and that plant will go down.
That's unfortunate, because the Viper retake wall is now not going to be active. Big clash in ropes.
Yep, Destrian trying to find his timing in mid is going to be so important right now, and he does win it out. If he stays alive, he's going to be causing issues for them, and still holding that close angle. Re-peek just a little bit too late, and still it has crumbled before their eyes. Operator in the hands of Twist, and he makes the most of that one.
Yeah, even with Destrian finding success, the biggest problem for Global is the trading there through screens.
Just a little bit delayed.
Very delayed. And I think that that speaks to how new of a team Global are, and maybe the comms getting flustered in these moments. Because look, there is just nobody behind Texture. Yeah. The next player is almost 2 seconds later, and it's Rossi swinging with an op. So one of their rifle players needs to get on a line there. Okay, operator battle though as we get back into this round happening in B main.
Jump peek to bait.
That's nice.
Yeah, that is quite nice. Just to set up SK Rossi onto that angle.
But SK Rossi is in. I mean, he's on such a deep line and he can't escape. Oh, he's actually using the wall. Yeah. That's a little weird because now he needs to reposition and get value out of the operator. Vitality are going to be playing quite quickly, so he relies on the rest of his team here to slow Vitality down.
So far, it seems like the early game plan of Global Esports was to play heavy for that extremity control. And it's created this opening in mid. You can see Vitality have already taken up that space. Just exploring. Spike in the hands of Multi. Waiting around, seeing if they can force a fight, a play to be made. They're going to be looking to regroup with the rest of their team now.
Wait a second. Did Rossi put a terrible Sage Wall in B main that Boncold can just jump over? Yeah,
he
he
did.
did.
Yeah, there's a box behind that you can just jump over that.
I didn't realize that he connected it to the box so that you could just jump up. That's an experience on the agent showing there. Obviously, Rossi playing a new role. Oh, and that's where you don't expect him to miss. Normally so talented.
And look at this, pressure being applied to just every single direction on the map. Oh my word! Straight shot, Bazzi dropped down to 110, spray down, he is low, up in the air, no way! From that kind of range, but Bazzi was weakened. And Aaron seems to be aware of this play that was occurring. There you go, click on ahead, and there we go, find the kill. But it is just left up to Aaron, and getting a bit flustered now into this 1v2. Destrian backs away again, that kind of patience and discipline. Doesn't want to take the fight, just makes it nice and awkward. Not giving any easy 1v1s for Aaron to be able to take to try and win this one.
And now Destrian gets a sound cue as well as Aaron goes up the rope. This is an almost unwinnable situation because Vitality just haven't given Aaron anything to work with.
Quite aware of where the positioning could be, a bit of spam. Isolate the
Unfortunate.
fight, yeah, just not quite enough. And well, the Shorty up close once more. I mean, Twiston was saying, listen, if you think we've been seeing Shorty kills up until now, wait until you see their game, because this guy, he makes full usage of that weapon.
He definitely does. The Shorty in Twiston's hands is a different weapon. His movement is fantastic too, though. I think that's part of what sets all of this up. And yeah, we're really seeing there's clearly a game plan coming from Aaron about how Global should play their defensive side, but it's the small mistakes that are really slipping them up. That's ridiculous, the beat dash into the Shorty kill. Yeah, I mean, but I think in that round in particular, it's the way that Rossi plays the B main situation just scrambled them a little. If he puts down a better Sage Wall and is then able to op in mid on a more aggressive angle, maybe that round goes differently.
It's just been that consistent uphill battle for Global Esports so far in this half.
And Global are going for a gamble stack on A, but when you don't hear anything early on, I don't think it's likely to be an A here, because Vitality, when they have been ending A, have been at least taking space, A ramp, fairly consistently. Sender's presumably faked it with the cages, but apart from that, there is nobody home on the B side.
Yeah, so the gamble not paying off here. Going to be that easy plan once more for Vitality. Setting themselves up into this position right now for Global Esports, just thinking about not giving away too much. Trying to go down to the spike so they don't give away any more ultimates as well would be quite key. Sender with this late lurk position. Shutting them all down in mid, and there's a re-swing attempt. It looks like Global Esports want to try and fight this into Sender.
The Cypher ult isn't the best one in the world if you have to feed yourself into somebody. But this is going to be a very easy round for Vitality to clean up. Yeah. I think you can just see the way that Vitality has been built, it relies on pre-existing synergies between the players. So they have a bit of a core from 𝐒𝐿, you know, and then some from Vitality, and a little sprinkling of Big on the top as well.
Yeah.
But they have some players that are familiar with each other enough to have a bit of synergy, a bit of chemistry there. And with Global, they are genuinely starting from square one.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a much more difficult project to get off the floor. And I think that was the concern that everybody had with this team. How much time do they require? When you listen to the players and the staff, they're thinking about multiple seasons, but still wanting to get wins early on.
Yeah, very long-term focus with this Global Esports squad.
Much better Sage Wall in B main from Rossi.
Not allowing anybody to hop up on top of it. Looks like a fight might be trying to be taken. Again, that spam and just holding for now. As he moving forwards inside this Viper's pit, there's a timing taken.
Does he
know that they crossed? Okay. Bit of whiffage there from Sender, but did he know that they've been compromised right now towards a ramp? That space was gained. It's a pop flash play. Bazzi nails the target, but Bone Cold was not playing in position for that one, so he does trade it out relatively effectively. And now the resurrected play, Aaron is being squeezed. Convergence on either side. Bit of spam there around the corner, and Aaron's been caught.
Awesome distraction from Twiston when Destrian got inside the ult. Can Texture be a playmaker here on the flank?
Yeah, these positions have flipped all the way around. Just as Aaron was being squeezed this time, it is Texture coming for that late flank.
We're at a peak
Players
of
in heaven
it,
knows
we're at a
everybody gonna
peak
be
of
watching
it.
for this one. You've got to be aware of it, surely.
Oh.
A ramp they could have been playing it. No, Twiston gets away with it for free. The shots just going one after the other. Texture does eventually claim that kill, but so much to deal with right now. And the retake made that much harder by the fact that Rossi is using this operator. Just unfortunate timing once more.
Yeah, Global Esports getting outplayed. Vitality with nice protocols to clear out the Viper's pit. To Aaron's credit, he's been getting them into good positions. But Vitality are always able to sneak past them or blast their way through them and then surround them on all sides. The raw talent as well is showcased here from Vitality. Yeah. Twiston 16-4, Sender and 𝐒𝐄𝐂 also having a great game individually, just able to farm these Global Esports players currently. We need to see a bit more resistance.
Oh, okay. What is this? Double updraft play from Twiston?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the knives as well.
Okay.
Sage wall, updraft.
Not going to spot anybody.
No plays.
Was nearly there.
Yeah, could have got his head taken off, but no.
That's actually another Ascend classic being called from Bone Cold.
All the way back in the day.
I've seen CNED do that.
Yeah. So desperate times here for Global Esports. Got to get something else on the board. It's like half by round from them, so the weaponry is that much weaker, but so far on their defense side of Split, it's not looking too good.
They need a miracle here, really, don't they?
Yeah.
The poor weaponry, even a 4-8 half. With the pistol, maybe you start to have some belief. Oh, the timing there, brutal for Monye. Is he even going to think about re-clearing mid?
No, and they've just contacted all the way up behind. Not sure if they've just heard Monye drop or what, but yeah, as he goes to re-clear it, was just so unaware. Just left out of SK Rossi. He's only got the Bucky, and it's, I mean, just full patience. Really, really well played by Vitality, how slowly they were playing that one. Not willing to give anything away.
And that is a Prime Gaming Flawless. Vitality currently so in control of this game. And we've actually seen Split be somewhat attacker-sided when people have been running these double duelist compositions.
Yeah.
But then the other problem with that is too, that when people run the heavy defensive comps, they're not racking up enough rounds on the attack side themselves to equalize it. So maybe we're seeing the double duelist meta come back with people like Loud also playing it on this map. Twiston and 𝐒𝐿 have put on a masterclass, and I think Bone Cold's calling in general. He just understands this map so well.
Early fight for control here, and yeah, it is that final chance. Josh, the Cosmic Divide going to be used very early on here by Global Esports just to try and deny control of
bizarre
a lot of areas of the map at once, but I mean, Vitality, they just contact up through this, and there's going to be that paranoia. Lovely play to deny that one. 𝐒𝐿𝐿, the satchels were clean, the movement was nice, but he does get taken down on the high ground, and despite the fact that Bone Cold was vulnerable, he wins out that engagement. Seeker's going to be giving him a lot of information that the players have found their way onto the site now. But just containing. Twiston holding close now below into Hell. He's going to be taking first contact for them. Varying up his angles. Is it going to be cleared? Not quite well enough.
Where's the second player there where Bazzi peeks? Oh, perfect timing though from Texture.
Yeah, these
picks up Sender in mid.
A very nice final round now. Texture does have the ult, but he rips it out at just the wrong time. Destron finding that one, still one player left alive. Destron, you cannot give him this one, but the swing is just perfection. And 𝐒𝐿𝐿 will claim the round for his team and get at least 3 on the board for this first half.
A lifeline, one last desperate lifeline. But unless you're on the 9-3 curse hype train, this is looking like a brutal beginning to Split. 20 kills from Twiston. And something makes me think he's not going to slow down in the next half.
Yeah, this is a hell of an opening for Vitality, honestly, on the global stage like this. And for Global Esports, have to really put up the bootstraps as we get into that second half. It's only going to get more difficult from here, but that's going to do it for the first half of this map. Let's send it down to the desk to break it all down.
Thank you so much, fellas. And there you can see, I mean, Twiston, what a showing from him in the first half there, dropping 20. But I think it's safe to say here, Mimi, like Vitality, the fundamentals, everything that you could want to have in this squad, it's working.
Yeah, it really is working fantastically for this team. That first half, to me, felt like kind of a gap between coordination for these two squads. And as we look back on one of those rounds, what I was especially impressed with were some of the game plans they built around this double duelist comp. They start this one off with Twiston diving into heaven, finding this weird timing to get into vents. His team then goes back and executes B, and a bit of a blunder from 𝐒𝐿𝐿. He actually falls to Twiston there, pushing back through his own pit. Twistin then reactivates on this lurk and is ready to push back around again as his team is holding on this post. GE push it a little bit close on this one. Some of these players find some big kills, but Twistin again, very late into this round, comes back in and managed to win that one out for them. Vitality, I liked a lot of the ideas we were seeing with this double duelist comp.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, him just being able to get into that position, they completely lost track of him. It was really brutal for him. They need to step up the pace in the next half.
Yeah, but then, you know, also for the GE side, though, I mean, you gotta give the moment to Aaron here. The guy continues to just show up and clutch in those real pivotal moments.
Sure, he has, and he has been the kind of the pillar for this team. We're talking about him. He is the veteran. He's the one that has that international experience, but it needs to be more spread out amongst the rest of the roster here, because right now he's the only one in the spotlight. Everybody else left out in the shadows. He needs to be able to guide them to a strong attacking half. It's 9-3. It's definitely recoverable, but it definitely feels bad going in with that scoreline after starting on the defending side.
Shabash.
Back into this game, but with Aaron on the calls, hey, anything is possible. Let's see what happens. Send it back over to Brendan Sideshow.
Anything could be possible. It's always in the hands of the players of Global Esports to see if they can mount that comeback. But so far, one major obstacle has been standing in their way, and that is the duelist players of Vitality. Twistin and Molson. Just putting up an amazing performance, and it was Twistin who said in the interview series we did, that little pre-tape, that their team doesn't have any star players, but might be weaving a different tale possibly on the other end of this series.
Yeah, I think the Vitality players, it's definitely a dark horse team, but they may become some star players later on down the road. All right, Global Esports with a big engagement.
Definitely working out for them, and they know where the final player is. Twistin has got the most to do. 100 health to his name. Does have that Sheriff. Now just waiting. Trying to see if Global Esports will give him an easy kill. Finds the first, the stun, and that swing is just ever so slightly delayed, but luckily, kill found regardless.
And actually really good trading there. I think the swing from Bazzi, or swinging off other players' contact in general, there was a trade from Monye that came through that looked really good. And then also Bazzi swinging at the end to shut down Twistin looked nice. So, a pretty drilled pistol round actually coming out from Global Esports.
Yeah.
Gives me a little more confidence that they could mount some form of comeback. But they have to make sure that after winning the pistol, they don't immediately fall to the Sheriffs, because that was the story of the first half. Both pistols going the way of Global, but it didn't net them any momentum in the first.
See now just how they want to play this one, because Vitality, there's that double phase. You can see Sender just holding from Mail as well while all this is going on. Util being used, just exploded out into mid. A lot of space being gained. Now you see that Satchel play. Boombot clears a lot of these angles, and it's up to Aaron to see if he can hold down this one angle, and he does indeed. There's no one going to be taking him out with any stray plays there. Classic right clicks in order, but Twistin
But Twistin
get a bit of an upgrade in the form of that Sheriff, so
he bole.
that's been dealt with. But
Every board level में Twistin ने चाई माचे ताई हेड
to get this plan down.
लगा.
Need to deny, actually. That's going to be perfectly rebounded, and you've got to be joking.
Safe hands from Rossi. Sender
Sender.
heard him.
Oh my word, you've got to be kidding me.
This Vitality team is so cracked with the Sheriffs.
Yeah, just finding so many opportunities, and they are just making the most of it. One after the other, isolated down to that 1v1. Sender, he's Lodo, has to nail the shot, and to nail it, he does. All the players weakened, and it is just a repeat of that first half. Global Esports, they win the pistol round and immediately lose it to the Sheriff purchase.
It's tragic, an absolute tragedy for Global Esports. They set themselves up for success with a great pistol round on both halves, but they just can't compete with this level of talent. I mean, look at that. These shots are absurd.
Yeah, they are crazy.
And the final one from Sender is just good communication that the player is weak enough, but Global Esports offering so many 1v1s, and Vitality are super happy to take them.
Something to be said as well about Vitality's composition being that much more simpler as well, they can obviously focus much more on the trading the team plays, individual moments.
Bone Cold's wall here is so annoying to deal with on an eco round for Global. It takes every bullet in the pistol just to get rid of it and have any semblance of mid control.
Yeah.
And you've got a nice cam setup there that helps them control A ramp, get a bit of information, or even set up trap plays.
The double face just missing Destrin as he was peeking for that information. Sends out that paranoia as well. Slows down a faster play. And Vitality are swarming it now with the rest of their players, making sure that they contain that choke point that was being watched for.
But there's less than a minute on the clock. They don't control any area of the map, and Global Esports are 4-10 down. They need a sheriff pick.
And there you go. Once more, kill gonna be found there just from a stray peek. Backing away, I believe the spike was dropped down to the floor as well off of that, so they know that they're at least attempting to rotate, and Twisting can hear it all. Right through sewers, making all the noise in the world. Flash play around the corner. Nobody hard clearing this. That is a whiff though, and the players do clean up, and there is the capitalization. Dropping down, a little bit inaccurate with the aim, yet still Mulsi will nail the shots and clean up the remaining players.
Yeah, Global found themselves an opportunity, but again, just no coordination on how they're getting in through a choke point. It's stuff that needs to be drilled, and they'll get there over time, but for now, Global are really struggling to get that second player in behind Texture, or even offer any utility for Texture to be favored. I mean, look, there's 3-4 seconds before the next player swings there, and no utility to help Texture get into the site, and I feel like that's just been a repetition. Every retake, every attempt to attack.
Steadily, the wiggle room afforded to Global Esports to stay in this map is just getting shortened.
Sorry, I'm just watching the exact same kind of setups that I've seen before on Split from teams like Ascend, teams like 100 Thieves. I mean, this Vitality team has got great protocols on Split.
Taken, dropping down into ropes. Twiston holding this one with the operator, but not going to be given any easy opportunities to take a stray shot.
This might be over-peaking from Destry.
Yeah, just trying to take this fight, but wow, okay. Timing
so
is,
clean.
Yeah, and he just backs away on top of it. Mulsi, seems like they're trying to get a read that this could have been the B split. Showstopper, I mean, he's literally just contact playing at a very final moment. Fires it off into the corner. Gap in the wall means that he'll be able to get back to safety, and damage was done, but no kill claimed onto Bazzi. Could be quite critical. He still has his ult in his hands. Holding on top of the rope, though. Dodge to the side. Good info gained. Now there's 40 seconds left in this round, and there needs to be just a bit more put behind into this round. They do get these kills traded out, but the paranoia is going to be, again, putting a stop to this. There's no fast play behind it.
30 seconds left.
Even that smoke, I think, eating up the flash. And now they're going to be clearing this corner out effectively, dropping down to the floor. The aim not reset enough to take that fight, so Vitality, they earn their way to that 12th round, and now one more round. So it stands between them and winning this map.
So far in the tournament, EMEA as a region has been in shambles other than Na'Vi. But this Vitality team, definitely a dark horse. Looking pretty excellent here, though, in terms of the raw talent and the way that they understand the map. So far, at lock-in, it's been APAC taking names, but this one is definitely going the opposite way. Vitality is so in control, and the weaponry is brutal here for Global Esports.
Yeah, you have to force up into this, obviously. No more opportunities. Looks like they're just going to be opting into that B split. A heavy take into B heaven. Sender, the rifle spray down, just about gets the aim online. Now you're going to see that Viper's Pit scattered out cross through the choke point, but no one is dealing with this guy. Just perched up in that heaven position, and Aaron, desperation pushing through, but Vitality, they clean it up. And it just looks like another day in the office for this team. We had questions coming into this series, but so far Vitality, that dark horse aura that's just been surrounding them, looks like people weren't joking.
Not at all.
Wow.
Spoon feeding Twiston the kills. Is that the metaphor there? But that was also Global Esports pick. Yeah. That was their map. That's where Aaron feels comfortable. And I don't think the macro game plans were honestly that bad, but it all came down to the details. The devil is in the details. And Global have not found the answers here.
Yeah, just minor moments there, but that's going to do it for map number 1. A short break, and on the other side of things, map number 2 will be coming up after this.
take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind work backwards just for a minute, I hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember, I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember.
Unfortunately, we didn't see too many other ones. They just couldn't quite find their shots. They couldn't get those bullets to connect.
Yeah, this is a continuation of the story that we've seen all tournament long, where there's the debutants, the new players to international events, come out and perform absolutely excellent.
Yeah, well then, you know, what we want.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still. Hanging in the balance, not the life I want to live. I want to take it all, standing tall. Fear I weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Turned toward me and looked so weak. I've never seen you with such tired eyes. And everything we said we'd be, we just traded for a suit coat and a tie.
He's just, again, lurking his way through, but finally the backup arrives. Now, down to Twiston. Players weakened up. In fact, Aaron and Munyet would die to just one shot to the body with the Sheriff in his hands right now, so they do actually need to be relatively careful here. They do have a crossfire set up just on the back of Halls. Util's going to be bleeding away that time. The Haunt pushes him back just to the corner. Got to find the angle, but won't be available to him. So Global Esports, once again, similar tale to what we saw from the previous map, where they were just winning these pistol rounds with great consistency. The question is now going to be, can they continue that? Can they actually convert it into another round on the back of it?
Global might be the team with the highest pistol round win rate in the tournament to go home in the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to be able to convert off the back of this. They've won 3 out of 3 of the pistols. Surely, this is not going to be heartbreak again. If you look just at the minimap here, I think the danger could be averted instantly. The Vitality have gone for a gamble stack, and the Sheriffs are on the opposite side of the map completely. Oh no. Oh no, surely Global Esports are not overcooking it. I think this is just going to be an A split. They're taking their time early on to set up Aaron in A main.
Yeah. The knife from Mulsey did make them second guess things, because that landed very late over towards A main. Faked a bit of that presence, but no, this time the Global Esports players will be just flooding into that A site. It's going to be afforded to them. No resistance.
But also, in one of the pistol rounds, or rather one of the follow-ups, we saw the retake just so many opportunities where Global gave them 1v1s and didn't trade.
Playing offside here through main.
But I think this does favor the Spectre system. And the Global Esports players are so clumped up, they can't help but trade, surely.
Yeah, so the knife there not going to be tagging onto the Asher player. Going to be able to get that pull through. 𝐒𝐄𝐄𝐿 just moves forwards. They're losing a couple of players. Now the C's also claiming one of the targets there. Sticking onto the defuse. Destrian, does he get half? Not sure. No, he doesn't. Denied that at least. And the spam through. This game plan a little bit all over the place. Sticking to half. No way. Not a shot in hell. But time running too low for him to make the most of that one again. So my word, they do just about scrape through and claim that round, but Global Esports, it's an expensive one for them to win.
They're going to give the Global Esports CEO an aneurysm.
Yeah.
I mean, these second rounds are absurd.
Yeah.
The decision from Rossi to push the smoke when Monya had already used his pull.
Yeah.
There is no chance that anyone is on the spike there, and it's, again, the small details making those rounds losable for Global, but all right, they get through it, and they're going to force up. So this is not a bonus round. This is just a straight-up rifle v rifle round in round 3. Everything on the line. Whoever loses this, drop back down to an eco.
So much importance now being placed on this one. Global Esports not messing around, are they? Flooding that util through. Knife's going to get removed, though. Might put a stop here to Global Esports trying to exec into this one, because it's a little bit slow, and it affords Twiston the right time to strike. What a flash through! Almost the entirety of the opposing team just blind to that one, dashing through to the side, and the smoke's being watched for. Twiston, you absolute animal. 3 kills claimed, but Bazzi will answer back, but he's left in this 1v2. And this is going to be difficult for him. He tapped the spike and just trying to at least hunt out one of the players. So intelligent by Destrian, doesn't give him an easy task. Just trying to hunt him down.
Playing exactly the same on split too. Never offering opportunities for clutches to happen because of his passive positioning. Twiston is playing like a monster in this game though. He's feasting. And because the trades are so poor from Global, he's just able to take one-on-one, then another one-on-one, and another one-on-one. He always gets the opportunity to reset his spray, reset his aim, because Global are just not quite sharp enough on it.
The kills end up flooding through, but then there's just a 1-2 hit, honestly. Vitality always ready. The flash repeat play, just never letting Global Esports regain that kind of balance. And so, push down to that eco round. We were highlighting the importance of it, with them opting into buying into that previous round, but Global Esports just taking their time for now. They're playing for that heavy A main control, just trying to grab some orbs, get some ults online potentially for the next one.
Twiston's going looking, hunting for the fights.
So greedy, but listen,
also so confident, right?
He does, I mean, he's not going to give away a gun. He's got a shorty in his Blade Storm, so he can afford to make a play like this. Normally, would be frowned upon. Might be donating a rifle, but...
Did he catch a glimpse of somebody there? He knows they're in art either way.
Yeah, fight now. Just being taken, and that swing timing around the back. Reset there of the knives. 𝐒𝐿 doesn't get any sort of bailout there. So 2-2 going to be that scoreline early on here in Pearl. Imperative now that Global Esports can regain their footing.
They've got some big ults to work with. I mean, there's nothing really happening in that prior round, the anti-eco, but this is one where Aaron needs to cook up a strategy. They've got Lockdown, they've got Nightfall to work with. These are big ultimates to apply a lot of pressure. I think Global Esports composition is probably going to want to play towards the A site more often because they don't have a very good way of approaching on B. You can see the spike leaning in that direction. But I think the question of how to apply B pressure has also got to be asked. Both teams, of course, run in the same comp, so...
This could be a real danger. Twiston's updrafted up onto this box ahead of time with an operator in his hands as well. He can watch all the way down this angle. The util didn't clear him away.
It is also a dangerous position to hold because we've seen Texture could double updraft and get the kills on him with the knife.
But okay, contact re-clear now into A main. Destrian taken slide off angle now behind this box. There wasn't really an attempt then. He was holding the angle. The crosshair placement was good, but does not get the kill.
Phantom moment.
Yep, dropping him down to 10 health. Someone yet survives, and Global Esports are just picking apart Vitality at the seams is what it feels like, and now it's on Twiston. What can he do? Just a bit of an ego peek there with the operator through that smoke, gets the one kill. Horn going to be spotting out Multi, drops down an aid, and Munyet none the wiser
Look
in
where,
his astral form.
Look where 𝐒𝐿𝐿 is here. He's gone all the way through B on the world's longest flank.
They know.
Twiston's watching for it.
Yeah, he's watching for it. Seems to be just aware that this could be a possibility. Angle's being watched. Pop flash play as well for that re-clear. And now time is being paid for. Yep, the flank not being watched for. Tap onto the spike, and all the pressure is on him right now. Re-swinging down, but beams them down. Shorty, man. Shorty's a strong gun, but it won't save you against that.
Now the lineup there from Vitality, pretty big mistake, but an understandable one. Great play from 𝐒𝐿𝐿. I was worried that his flank would be either way too late or watched for, because Twiston felt like he had to read the whole time that Rossi was coming around. I don't know quite how Global Esports got read like that, but still, Rossi coming up with the goods. That's the first round where we've really seen him take control of the game.
So back and forth. That's a fast play with a Blade Storm. You can see Texture, he'd already dashed across to take this A main control. Now that Cosmic Divide as well. So Nightfall's going to be used as a response to this one. Vitality making it difficult for them to commit onto this, and Global Esports should be second guessing this now because there's 3 players of Vitality just ready and waiting.
That is great work from Bone Cold as well. He had to use that exactly in reaction to 𝐒𝐿𝐿's ult. So he was prepped and knew perfectly what he wanted to do. Read the play and countered it.
It does feel like Global Esports have been thrown a bit off balance here because now it's just a scramble. 5 players now grouped up. And use that Prowler to re-clear deep into B main, but...
I would have loved to see Aaron use his lockdown as a fake re-hit onto the A site to allow Global Esports to go for this pivot, but they're making it really noisy. A lot of utilities stomping the footsteps all along, and Vitality are just booking it to the B site.
There's no nuance in this approach from Global Esports. Making all the noise in the world right now. Angle not being watched for. And what a timing to take, Munyet. Ripping off the header sender. Swinging through. No, and that spacing just not good enough. In play, and one after the other. They try to take the fights, but they will all fall. Twiston, absolute masterclass in his performance. But again, it's just those little errors piling up for Global Esports that just doesn't allow them to sail away with a round win.
And when you leave these openings, a player like Twiston, especially on Jet, that allows you to take timings and then dash away to safety. And he's just loving it out there. Yeah. Twiston's had one of the best opening games I can remember. He's 11-4 already after 6 rounds have been played. He had 20 kills at the half on split. I can't remember exactly what he finished on. but this is an insane opener.
Now a fight to be taken. So risky a play, you've just got to be kidding me.
There's another one.
Yep.
It's over in a flash.
I mean, collateral after collateral.
The word flawless doesn't quite even sum that up. It's an understatement.
And yeah, it was an eco round, but even still, it's been a recurring theme, honestly, for Global Esports, dropping a couple of these rounds just from the fact that they haven't been able to swing with enough spacing between them. And that, honestly, it feels like right between the elbows. I mean, even he's like, okay, well,
sure.
Not sure how I achieved that one.
Sure, I'll take it.
Okay.
Global need to find an answer. They still haven't found an opportunity to use Aaron's lockdown. Aaron's been playing the middle of the map, trying to push and pull the different pieces that he has on his chessboard, but he hasn't really found enough opportunities to get involved himself, and Aaron was actually one of their biggest players on Split.
There's diligence there, though, from Global Esports, making sure to jump peek these corners so they debate that op shot. They know the Twistan's playing the other direction. Now the util's going to be sent flying through. That's going to be a Prowler up close. Lockdown as a response, though.
And they know that this is going to get value because Bone Cold had cleared out the whole of A. However, Bone Cold running into Monya there does open a path for Global Esports to just pivot back.
Just didn't expect there to be players there, I suppose, but Lockdown used ever so slightly later, so yeah. Clearing out this site, but there was space at the back of Hall. Someone needs to break this turret. Texture just being whittled down to no health at all, but players are weak.
Do they know the Vitality could be in back halls here? Do they know the lockdown?
No back halls control, and that's an immediate punish from that one. Just on a heaven position, he was offered a free shot, but it just about missed this one. Are they going to be able to get this plant down? They haven't cleared these players out of back halls again. Just seeing limits to it, and Destrin, he's caught this flank timing. No one's watching it. So many gaps in the play, and just like that, picked apart. Munyet, 1 star, has the pull. He can disrupt this one, but so much to do for him. Good timing off it. He is smoked away though, but that's going to dissipate. And it's all on this.
They don't know where he is.
What timing can he take? Buys his time, has to hit the shots, reset one at the avenue, but it's just being stuck.
And Twiston hitting the no-scope after someone tries to shorty him.
Yeah.
How dare you shorty Twiston? 15-4. And Global Esports just not able to put together a round again. The gap that Destrian exploits is inch perfect. He got into this position because he'd slunk his way, on the flank through B-Link. So while Bone Cold ran through spawn, Destrian managed to wiggle his way through the shop area. And he knew that Monya wasn't watching it.
Just not enough layers.
But also, Vitality are doing such a good job at just abusing all of the holds, right? It's one thing to know that your opponent's making mistakes, but Vitality are getting the punish every time.
Very intelligent gameplay from them. Another instance now where it is, of course, Global Esports knocked down to the GIGABYTE. You can't have a repeat of that first map. Said earlier, if they can regain their kind of footing, but so far, obviously, distance between these rounds, 5-3 being that scoreline, it's not too wide. Still, a lot could be done.
Yeah, there's obviously chances back into this map and chances back into this series, especially if their players were feeling the nerves and that impacted the game and they can get over it.
Yeah, flash through, Horn's quite good, lands into the back of the side, but ever so slightly mistimed, and okay, Texture, let's see what you can do. Cloudburst laid down, his gun wasn't ready. Util was quite good there, Multi weakened, dropping down quite low. That's a double swing onto a high-low setup with the Frenzy, just not enough bullets to make the most of it.
Next round, the most important one though for Global. It's an opportunity to get the momentum back and put a round on the board where you'll still be able to buy next time. Cosmic Divide can be massive. I mean, we've seen teams just pop a Cosmic Divide down on B, go for the plant spot behind the box, play post plants off the back of that. There are certainly options here, but it's about how they navigate the space and make it so the Vitality aren't just stacking the side of the map that they want to play. Oh, Vitality are looking like they want to fight really heavily over B here.
This feels like a hard read almost. They see that the Astra Wall is available. They're not going to be giving them easy access to the top side there of B main.
And the brutal thing about this, Bren, is that if Twiston scares them away from B, Look what Destrian's got for them on A. He's just sat in secret with an Odin, waiting to deny the plan.
With a turret covering his head.
Yeah.
I mean, the setup is just so well thought out right now, and the alarm bot's going to give all the information for Sender to know that they are lurking their way through Art.
Salah and Bone Cold have been cooking.
Yeah. These setups are looking nice. Nade close, though. That should push them back off that corner, but they haven't broken the alarm bot. So, full knowledge to be gained now. Vitality know that nobody's committed off the back of that utility through Art.
And Twiston's dropped back into a more passive position where he still gets good info, and that's freed up Multi and Bone Cold to roam around the map and fill in the gaps.
That's a good knife, though. We'll at least deactivate that alarm, but the players are there to just, again, fill up the pieces. Twiston holding this one. It's a flash and a nightfall. Does push him back. Just absolutely ego plays, fully blinded up with a pop flash, but, well, just some blind fire, it seems like. Now Bone Cold needs to be the difference maker. Because Vitality have dropped like flies, and his timing is absolutely everything, but the shots just do not land still. One after the other. 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒, does he expect it to be a second player? The answer is no. This high ground position, a bit of spam there with the Odin. Destrian does reveal his position. Left down into a 2v4. Double swing there, and a weapon just not good enough.
Good double face, though. That's what we've been missing.
That is what we've been missing, and despite the fact that Sender's crosshair placement was immaculate, not going to be afforded anything else.
I like the pathing from Global there. I think they found a really nice opening through B-Link. But what on earth was Multi doing? Flashing with his knife out, running through the smoke.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a major blunder. And so far, all of the unforced errors have been in Global Esports camp. And that's the first round where we've really seen Vitality make a play and then fumble it completely. But you've got to give credit. The utility pressure from Global was great as they went through B-Link.
Yep.
They pushed Twiston away. They just also got gifted the kill on Multi. Can they string together this one opportunity into a decent half here? They still have this Cosmic Divide. A B site hit would be nice, but I think Sender's got the read. He's got nanoswarms in the common plant spots on B.
Yeah. Counter knife is very nice. Going to be getting off onto the two players there, so it suppresses them and it pushes them back.
My big problem, though, is Global are creating no pressure on the other side of the map. Destrian has already been confident enough to just poke his head around A main. Oh, yep, nothing there.
Yep.
And there's 4 players already on the B side. Global needs a bit more of a spread presence, a global presence, if you will.
Oh, my God.
On the map.
So I'm looking for a new co-caster. If you'd like to send in your applications.
I think Pansy's in need at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so now actually, Global cutting a bit of noise and offering the tiniest of noises and pressure in mid has made the defenders spread out a little bit, but not enough.
Aware, surely, because look at this reposition. Close to the corner, Sender's there. And is there going to be util to clear them out? Usually there's a seize that accompanies this push. Lassie does have it available, and they just push forwards. Shorty's in their hands. Right up in the air, inaccurate, still finding the kill. But they have been pushed back. But a moment now, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me! Oh my goodness. Weakening the players, still they answer back and into the back of the halls. There's just a fight being taken. 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒 winning it out and does claim that area of the map for them. Down to Destrian. What can he do here? Is anybody gonna be watching for him? Aaron tucked behind the box, just waiting it out. A lot of fights he needs to try and take, but with all that pressure, there's no way. Good swing timing from Aaron though, but left now. Now 2v1. Random spam, finds the first kill, but he did not get half on this defuse. Dash enabled. Aaron sticking all the way through, and oh my goodness, almost making the play, but salvaged in the end.
Whoa, that is an incredibly close round, but I think Global Esports has done a great job there. Their ability to get into the site and use the Cosmic Divide to get into a favorable post plan, I like that. They're finally being able to string a couple of rounds together, and this is already a good half. 5 rounds on the board. If they can push it to 6, they're really starting to apply the pressure to Vitality. And you're seeing the players get a bit more confident. They're waking up.
Waking up indeed. If they can make this an even half, it'll be beautiful for them. Lovely setup. This fight is about to take place with the operators. Guess what? Bit of a jet diff occurring right there and then. Actually making a name for himself, honestly, as well as that Korean jet player of 2023. And Twiston has been so far an absolute demon in this series, shutting him down early. He's going to be quite good for them.
Yeah, taking out the final boss in the early stages is definitely going to be useful. But there are other players on Vitality that can be just as problematic.
Contact re-clear? Oh,
Money is going to have to control this.
Yo, the timing there was just so unfortunate. Moniet dropping into his Astra form, but now there needs to be some pace. Moving all the way forwards. Can he take control in the back of this site? Oh my goodness.
They're planting in the open.
Just beamed all the way down. Nothing covering them as well from that position. Bonecold's handed some of the easiest kills of his life. And now the lockdown. Just layer after layer. Pushing the players back texture. Just cannot quite get out of there. And 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒 in that 1v3. The pride of India. But with 25 seconds left, he's put in an impossible task.
We saw Aaron win a 1v3 earlier on to give Global Esports the first pistol
There's
round.
one.
Rossi's got the talent.
Fight being taken, but not much time left into this one. Util just being dumped through and a wall watched for. Destrian knew time pressure was on, and 7-5 will be that scoreline. Global Esports fighting back in their own way, making it quite respectable.
এতে চারটা আঙ্গুল দেখা যায় এখানে একটা এখানে একটা এখানে একটা এখানে একটা আইগর এটা তো পাঁচটা তো এটা তো ক্লিয়ার মলিকে ক্লিয়ার আউট করলো কিন্তু চারটে আঙ্গুল একসঙ্গে দাওয়ার আল্টি করে দিয়েছিল
But if they can do it,
I think
this is
it's
still a really close map.
Yeah.
This was
Now a
ভালো
very
হয়েছে
special halftime as well.
7-11 is good
a
score.
special guest for our halftime interview.
Yes,
that is right, Brennan and 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒. I've got Rishi with me, the co-founder and owner of Global Esports. You waited a long time to see your players up on this stage. You know, how does it feel to finally see them play? I see you guys down there supporting them as well.
Yes, it feels amazing. It's crazy. We didn't think we'd get this far, but here we are, playing on the biggest stage in the world.
Yeah, I love hearing you guys cheer for them as well, all of the GE fighting coming on as well. What do you make of their performance so far? That was a really close half.
Yes, it's been okay so far. I know this is usually how the team starts, so even when they're scrimming, the first map is usually the slowest and then they pick up pace. It's looking so far so good. I think we should be able to pick up and take this map out and hopefully take it to map 3.
Oh, you have faith?
Yes, I have to.
Now, if you could, talk to your players right now, give them a little bit of motivation. What would you say to them right now?
Oh wow, it's easy. GE fighting.
GE fighting?
Yes.
Anything else? Because I feel like a couple of them looked a little bit nervous in the beginning, but they're really picking up the pace now.
No, I think they're okay. A lot of them have experience on stage before, and the people that I was worried about are Monia and Texture because they haven't played on such a big stage before. So I think they're doing pretty good. I think now the team is just getting warmed up. They'll be good.
We're going to get to a map 3. You're promising me this. You're confident?
If not, I'll get you a jersey.
Oh, I'll take it. Okay, let's get a GE fighting at home for the fans that are watching.
Okay, perfect.
GE fighting!
GE fighting!
Yes!
And also shout out to the 300 plus people watching at our watch party in Mumbai.
Oh, okay. I love that. I love that shout out. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see what they can do in the second half, and I'm going to pitch this back to 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒 and Bren to get it on the way.
GE fighting. That's the key.
Fighting.
That is the key, Josh. The key to victory. And listen, this map is looking much better for them in comparison to that first map that we were just watching on Split, where it was very one-sided. You know, when you have new rosters being formed in this fashion, like Global Esports, talent coming from many different directions, different teams as well, different nationalities, there's always a risk that they might just falter on the big stage like this.
Yeah, but heading into this pistol round, it's going to be so important. I think it's almost too much to ask that Global Esports could win 4 out of 4 pistols, but so far they've been good for it. They've had set plays, and I feel like maybe quite a lot of their prep focus has been on winning those pistols.
Yeah.
And, you know, they tripped up on Split. They weren't able to convert, but that was a different map. Maybe they were in a different place mentally, too. This one's really important.
And so a lot of focus being placed now onto this pistol round, but you can really see it. Waves of that utility being used. Hammered into the back of the B side. Twiston up close, and there's that Nano Swarm. Texture just trying to evacuate. He was dropped down low and does fall, but 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒 still alive, still in the fight, and he answers back. 2 kills claimed, making it that much more difficult for them, and still the flank being watched for.
Nice play.
Yeah, controlling that spray down, so watching for the flank. Now it's down to the 2 players of Vitality. Bonecold will get this plant off. There's not going to be any pressure applied to try and disrupt them, but they're strong with the timing. No one really watching that one, and now taking the swings all together. Moniet side of his astral form, and finally the swing is there from Aaron, the team captain, the IGL, making sure that they can slam dunk once again another pistol round.
Yeah, 4 out of 4 pistols for Global. They look clean in these rounds. They just need to extend it, that kind of focus, to the rest of their game. What a performance. And what a 2K from Rossi as well. This one really crucial to shut down Sender. But the anchoring from Rossi there was very nice. The kill onto Texture, so important. And Brent, I know we've talked a lot about Rossi, but I feel like he's just such a cool player in terms of his backstory and his motivations. And I was watching a recent interview that he had with Yinsu, and he said that he's done well domestically, but that was never his goal. He said, in India, we always worship foreign idols, foreign teams. We never had an Indian team to look up to or an Indian player to look up to because we had no achievements outside our country. And SK Rossi was saying, I need to change that. I am in a position to change that. This is my moment. I need to do it. I mean, that just speaks, I think, to the way that Global Esports is approaching this game. And this is a winnable map for them.
Yeah, so winnable. That importance as well for India as a region. We really have been hammering this point home, but it's a region that's just been, you know, marred, I think, by issues with the infrastructure as well. Just really kind of like putting a dampener, I think, on the esports scene, but this is a massive moment. See if they can make the most of it here on this big stage for SK Rossi.
Yeah, can you capitalize?
Yeah.
And the rest of Global as well. I mean, it's players from all over the place with different backgrounds and different stories, which makes it a really ambitious project. Texture picking up both of those kills over on A and shutting down one of the biggest threats. A 3v5 for Vitality. Surely it's unwinnable, I mean, even with the Sheriff potential.
Even with the Sheriffs, I mean, oh my goodness.
Nice,
nice, awkward.
Nice.
Nowhere near as awkward as it has been in the prior map. Already just layering into the util. Sees the horn, everything being used. Just trying to make it difficult for them, but Texture's watching that angle down. So this time, Global Esports able to win out in that anti-eco round. Not too much damage being done as well to their own economy, so a much better beginning to this half.
Yeah, super important. And if you recall last time, round 2, Global Esports barely kept anybody alive, and they had to buy up for round 3, so they didn't get a bonus. With how cleanly Texture dealt with these players, they've got a good bonus round.
Yeah.
So do we see a set strat? Can they damage the Vitality economy? Can they keep some momentum going? For the first time in this entire series, the play is actually in Global Esports' hands.
A battle, it's not going to be taking place just yet, but that slow take of A main control from Vitality. Have the rifles, of course. At the same time, that util being sent forwards is just Bone Cold alone. Just trying to make sure that they've got presence, and this time the swing timings are there. They were spaced up, overlapping each other. There was potential for that spray down, but the site going to be gained. So Vitality realizing it's been offered for them.
Look at
and now
Twiston,
the flank timing. Twiston is so pushed all the way into their spawn with the rifle in his hands right now, and it has been cleared, but where's the trade? It's not there.
Oh, that's
Sprays
unbelievable.
them down, and a dash back just to disengage. Wants to play with the rest of his team in his high-low setup. Brutal to try and break through. Texture. In the midst of all of this, that's managed to find himself a rifle, but 2v4, might as well try and play it. A bit of a random spam again, just onto that common angle means that Monier's dealt with, and oh my goodness, the reactions just dragging that one all the way down, finding the final bullet.
The spray control from Twiston and 𝐒𝐿𝐒 was impeccable in that round. And once again, the same as Split, this duo, this relatively unknown duo to the global stage is pounding.
Yeah.
And if you talk to any fans of EMEA, Twiston and 𝐒𝐿𝐒, they're primed. They're ready to take that next step up to the big stage and show everybody how talented they are. Underrated, but very skilled.
They have just been waiting for that opportunity to showcase what they can do on the global events, on the global stage.
And that bonus round from Global didn't actually do very much damage to the Vitality economy. So...
Flash play! Oh my goodness, that's a little bit awkward.
Oh, Texture didn't take a point of damage, but I don't know how.
Yeah, I mean, just about gets out of there, doesn't he? Still, another pop flash play, and that angle was just perfect, but oh my goodness! Yet just running circles around them, spraying them down, a bit of inaccuracy helping them out. And the main choke point also being watched for. Texture, a bit more of a defensive position from him, but this round so far just entirely secured up from Yet, really.
Yeah, I think the biggest player that has improved from map 1 to map 2, and maybe shaken off some of the nerves that Rushi was talking about, is Yet. How many times did we see him push a smoke, take a bad fight, not be there for a trade on split? And now on Pearl, he is in the right place at the right time more often than not.
Timing of that was just insane.
It was, yeah. I mean, he's playing anti-flash and he swings to help his teammate, sprays them both down. Second kill, maybe a bit of run and gun.
Sender's going to try and do his best to win out that round, but no swings, no easy fights being afforded. And so a Prime Gaming flawless here for Global Esports, 8-8. Being this scoreline.
You actually now put in a difficult spot. Their economy is good enough to force, but it will leave them with a bit of a worse setup. How Sender quite beats that first engagement, I am not sure. Sender should have had the kill on Twiston. Oh, sorry. Sender should have had the kill on Texture 10 times out of 10 there.
Yeah. But a flawless round working out, and now it has.
I think it vitality.
Okay. Setting up the heat a little bit. Map 1 was nice and easy for us, but this one is a bit of a different task, and so they feel pressured to take that tax timeout and decide what they want to do.
I think part of the decision will be, do we want to force or not? They can afford 4 rifles, so I think the best option is to force in that situation. But Destrian's only going to have a Sheriff. Yeah. So it puts him in a bit of an odd spot, but it's pretty fine to have your Astra play passive on the attack side and mostly just control one area, look for flanks, play the post plant.
There's some good ults that are online for Vitality, and they're all going to be coming online as well. So you have that Nightfall and Lockdown available to them, one away from the no command.
But I think from a tactical perspective, from a strategic perspective, there's not too much that Salah can be talking to them about here, because their explorations through the map have been relatively successful. They just got double sprayed down towards Art. I don't think that's really like something you need to change the macro game plan around.
Here's a fight that's going to be taking place. Again, the Battle of the Jets, you're going to be witnessing this head-to-head. Recall star up close. At least just a star popped, actually, off the back of that one, and it's left ever so slightly a gap. Texture. Beautiful shot from him, just finding the target. Twiston, though, playing up close. Flash play as well. Let's see if he wants to try and play through this one. A dash forwards into it, and the angle not watched for 𝐒𝐿𝐿 with the anchoring. Might have just overcooked it, though. Tries to take the wider swing, wants it a little bit more, and he is going to be punished. Texture just mistiming it.
Okay, doesn't look like Texture's going to get punished, because this would be wild overextension for Sender, but they might catch a rotator, retaker.
Yeah, pushing forward, just trying to take this fight forwards. There's a Prowler, and a whole lot of utility just jumped through. Texture, though, what an answer once more. The Blade Storm ripped out of his hands, and 4 kills were found in that round. Wonderful, wonderful response. And you know, for as much as we have been highlighting Twiston as that player, as that guy who's just been the spearhead the entirety of Vitality, just putting up monstrous numbers. Texture finally coming online and finally really just showcasing what he can do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was worried when he got caught in the lockdown, but they'd already shut down the player that could punish him. I think if Twiston was alive, he would have sought out that duel, but instead Texture allowed to stay alive and pop off. Aaron's happy with that. Texture's not a bad replacement for Cryo on.
Yeah, apparently.
As a teammate, as a Jet starter setup. Have we seen Vitality on an eco round yet?
I mean, we have when they've been losing these pistol rounds.
Sure.
But outside of that, it feels unlikely.
I can't quite recall, but it definitely feels like Global have got the best opportunity they've had. Again, Monya, though, gets a 3K out of that position, even though he's pushed.
Being pressured there by the Stingers as well is a difficult task to really remain unscathed. So the fact that he did get 3 is quite impressive. But they have handed over this rifle to Destrian. But not going to have the players afforded for Vitality to make the most of this one. It's going to have to be, again, heroics and lurk plays, maybe. You can see him throwing out the starter just to throw in a bit of subterfuge. But I believe there's an alarm bot just before it. Yeah, so they're just fully aware that he's not going to be pushing through that smoke.
And he was hoping that the smoke would draw more players to A and allow him to get a lurk off, but 𝐒𝐿 was watching that area no matter what.
Yeah.
Doesn't really look like there's going to be an opportunity for Vitality, especially with only 30 seconds, but we've seen them win some.
ওখান থেকে ডিস্ট্রাক্ট করবে জাস্ট একটা আই থিংক
Asher Stars just being placed down. All round pedestrian, but is contained, taken care of. Global Esports showcasing that they were fully aware of that one, obviously losing prior control of mid in that round. So they have taken the lead in this map. This next round now going to be so important for Vitality. Ton of ults available to them if they wanted to try and swing it around, but Global Esports not even on their map pip. They are find themselves with a steady lead. The potential is there now to try and take this all the way into that map 3.
And I think that the level that Vitality is playing at is maybe slightly lower than Split, but to me, the big difference between map 1 and map 2 is Global Esports stepping up to the challenge. Bit of a fight happening in mid here as Global Esports look like they want to pressure with the operator. Nice shot, again takes that tip of the spear off.
Just able to do that one on LAN apparently.
And now Vitality, without the tip of the spear, are just left with a stick.
And again, it's a recurring theme, it feels like. Texture just removing that threat of Twiston. The guy is supposed to be leading the charge.
The defensive side probably just favored, you know, in the Jet head-to-head in general, but that's what you absolutely need to do. You can't allow Twiston to just have his way, which he was able to do all the time in map 1.
The Prowler does push away Texture from that angle. Now opting to play at the back of the side, but there's going to be that no command sent through. Watching for the smoke push. No one there. It's going to dissipate. Now a Cosmic Divide as well. And Texture, you got to be kidding me. You can't be trying to push through this one. I mean, can't use any abilities whatsoever. Doesn't even have a dash. Does he still want to try and take this one? Plant it out into the open.
It's a great plant spot.
Yeah.
I think the key player to watch here is going to be monyet.
This timing just being taken into mid. Could be a bit of a backstab play. Prowler goes through the wall as it does fade away. monyet now. Off the smokes, it's a double face, and okay. Contained, just that flank, that one play that was happening. Now to Nightfall, scatters his way across, but it's that 3v3. 𝐒𝐿 sticking it, does manage to get half. The shot's not fired, but eventually they deal with him. But has enough been done for them? The smoke again fading away. Texture sticking it now with the cloud burst, but eventually enough shots fired off into the cloud burst that they find their mark. And Vitality, it's a little bit squeaky that round, but they do eventually claim it.
I think though the strengths of Vitality's post plant would win them most of the time that round.
Yeah.
The fact that they control art so heavily, this skill here to me just closes the round out. Because without any pressure, they have 3 players holding this angle, and the spike is just right in the open, right in front of them. Unless the spray misses miraculously and someone gets a full diffuse off, they've got this. And there's the punish! I was wondering if anybody would try and pull that out. It is such a dangerous position to opt from when your opponent has knives.
For exactly the reason that we just saw. And now that Jet head-to-head, that battle that's taking place between these two players. Twiston, he answers back, doesn't he? Gets up to 20 kills on it, but holding the up-close position. Dash was just about fading, he couldn't get out of there.
And that was a really bold angle to be taking. The defenders have the advantage there almost all the time. And this lockdown is so early from Aaron. monyet can't overheat.
Bhai, tu amar aaye bhai.
Know where he's going to be isolated. Jump peak going to be spotting him out. 𝐒𝐿 has to try and bail him out here. Util drop forwards, and there we go. Swing is just perfect. Fragment nade did rebound against the wall and take out monyet, but Global Esports was showing that discipline, but they have offered up the entirety of A now. This lurk timing from Sender. He has managed to find his way deep into the back of A. Now the alarm bot though is going to be revealing that that position is compromised. So
fight in mid. There's something going on here. Destrian
what is occurring?
Clashing with Aaron. They're walking back to back.
Yeah, I mean just right down into sewers, watching it. Timing needs to be the trade. 𝐒𝐿 contains. Pushed into the corner. The position is known. The flick of the wrist is there, but is there time? That is the question. He's going to be sprinting all the way with a knife out now.
Rossi has nade.
And it's not really planted. A quick tap of it right out into the open. It should be a slam dunk. Indeed it is. 𝐒𝐿 Rossi. Safe hands from him. So that 11th round is going to be claimed now here for Global Esports. One step closer.
something we haven't even mentioned thus far, Brent, too, is that Global Esports, from what we've been told, were not intended to play with this roster. They were intended to play with Ronski on the team.
Yeah.
And so Global Esports have like a 7-man rotating roster, but they had found the core that worked for them and were forced to pivot coming into this event. And the fact that they are now on the precipice of going to a third map and taking the game to Vitality, a dark horse squad from EMEA with a lot of skill on the roster, this is already impressive.
Yeah.
Already impressive. Global Esports, though, need to keep their foot on the gas. You can't allow Vitality to come back into it, and Vitality are going to have opportunities.
That's going to be their aim with this timeout.
Yeah, this next round, though, they're taking the timeouts whenever they've got a force buy situation. Their economy is really poor here, Vitality. They can afford like a rifle or two, but it's not great. So I think Salah's going to be saying here and having the final decision on whether or not they play for overtime. I don't know what you would do in this spot. This is so tough.
It's a really hard ask, isn't it? It seems like what they are opting into is half bite. Rifle in the hands of Twiston might just be good enough.
Yeah, it's
and
a
Multi.
hero rifle.
Yeah, but the bunny's running so low, and there's no ultimates to work with either. That's all in the camp of Global Esports. You look at that, so many tools to try and offset whatever might get thrown at them.
Global Esports are going to be pushing up B long, but that's going to open an avenue on the map for Twiston. And with Twiston having the hero rifle, he's the player to watch here.
He's going to be trying to carve out a path for them, but Texture watching this one. Operator tries to go for the flick, now being pressured, and Sender wasn't watching the right angle. Still, Texture is under a lot of pressure right now, just being flooded in and out of trap position. Still, how does he claim a second kill? It is even though, 3-3.
But now they've got rifles.
And yeah, they have exchanged the weaponry around. Fight need to be taken. That is such a massive one to win.
Because that also gives up the entire part of the map that the spike's been planted for. Destrian has an awful position here. He's not going to meet anybody, he's going to stay alive, but he can't spam the plant.
The wall blocks him away. 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒 with a flank timing, just impeccable. Bone cold.
Nice. Chill.
Just to try and salvage this, it's an impossible one. Doesn't have any util. Not going to be watched for. Either side swinging back and forth, and 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒 finalizes it. And Global Esports now on the precipice. 1 more round is what's going to stand between them. Bringing this to map number 3.
Their defense side has been so impressive on this map. 4 out of 4 pistols won, but also starting to get the rifle rounds really working. Textures coming alive, Monya playing really well too. And even when the rounds are getting dangerous, they're finding the punishes and clearing these areas of the map out really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, VCT, bro.
1 more round required, and we head to Lotus. And I have no idea what can happen on Lotus. Don't even get us started. Big clash over B main.
Massive fight being taken, and the flash is good for it. All the players just out of position. 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒, he's swinging wide right now. He's being forced back and forth. Flick of the wrist, it misses. Texture doesn't land the shot. This is painstaking right now. They've already lost it, but it is that 1-for-1.
But I think Rossi panicked a little bit. He used his ultimate in the midst of all of this. Maybe just to try and keep himself alive. That's a big tool.
Util, yeah, it was a big tool. Not going to be available now. Aaron, his job just to try and hold down this angle. Doesn't pay for it with his life, but the util was cleared out. His turret not going to be watched now for any space that it's gained, and it forces him to just keep his eyes on it physically himself. Doesn't have that util. Does have his back being watched though. You can see the util there with the alarm button, and Nanoswarm needs to stay alive though. And there we go, timing. Nanoswarm's popped off, and it has separated them. Split them up. 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒 right into the corner. Does he realize? Finally spots it. Spike dropped down, and now the re-swing. Reset in the aim, one after another. 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒 with his country represented, India, taking them all the way now to map number 3 in this series.
What a map win, and what an emphatic way to do it at the end. Pearl belongs to Global Esports, and Vitality have been knocked completely asunder there, not expecting to give that map up. We got a game.
Yep.
And I have no clue how Lotus is going to go. It's got to be the most unpredictable way to end the series
are lighting first.
between these
Lighting
two
first, every 6th player.
But I'm so glad that
𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐿𝐿 playing
Global
11,
Esports
playing
pulled
5.
off after a shockingly poor display on Split. But they finally demonstrated what they're actually capable of.
Yeah. overcoming an absolutely massive obstacle, but we will be heading to map number 3, and we're going to take a short break. On the other side of things, of course, continuation of the series.
Spike carrier kill. One
जी के लिए खेल रहा है ब्रो, इंडियन टीम के लिए खेलेगा ना इसके से। वो तो टाइम चला गया, लेकिन हाँ कोई एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में तो होने का ड्रीम तो है अभी भी, कोई इंडियन ऑर्ग में तो होने का ड्रीम है अभी भी। स्ट्रीम का लिंक ट्विच में चले जाओ ना। हाँ एक सेकंड, यूट्यूब पे भी देख सकते हो तुम। Not using Twitch, okay, then wait. Yes, good.
Standing underneath the rows of trees, I can see where
ये देखो
the sky. Under our clothes, a fire grows. We are ready for this life of running wild. We're running wild. Underneath the rows of trees, I will see where the ocean meets the sky. Under your toes, a fire grows. You are ready for a different kind of life. Silent fall, the wind is calling. You must return to the wild. Silent fall, the wind is calling. You must return to the wild. The seasons come and go like thoughts of you. Like a wave returns to the sea into the blue.
Well, it seems like all the GE fans definitely do is they pick up a pivotal win, tying the series up 1-1. Welcome back to the desk, everyone. Golden Boy here alongside with Mimi as well as 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒. And, you know, it could have gone poorly for them, but they managed to find a way. GE managed to find a way round after round, and you got to give credit to a lot of the superstars on this team. Players like Texture, players like Rossi, finding those opportunities and those moments, Mimi. what a match that was.
It was really a great game, and it started off, in my opinion, GE looked really, really rough on that attacking side. The spacing was bad, people were pushing in front of their jet player, nothing was clicking for them. It looked like the game was done and over with, but we get into the second half, they win the pistol and play a fantastic defensive side.
I knew they had it from the moment that they didn't drop the NP. No, but you're completely right. There was a lot of roughness, but then as we got over to the defensive side, good Lord, everybody absolutely activated for the side of Global. Texture as well, back on Jet is just chef's kiss performances coming out of this guy right here, dropping a 288 ACS. I mean, huge. This is why, if you can look back, he's played now 119 maps of Jet compared to 18 on Raze. He is a Jet through and through. This guy could very well be the Korean Jet of this year.
Jet, he is that guy, and there were similarities between both these teams on their attacking side. Team Vitality, same struggled, spacing fell off, our Jet players pushing in front, struggling to trade on those B-long executes. You saw it in the clip, every time they made one of those mistakes, it was Texture really, really punishing, and their side execs as well were struggling against these fantastic anchor players.
Yeah, actually, you know, speaking of the anchoring, I do want to give a shout out to Aaron as well, because he has been such a reliable hand for this team every single time. Put him in the midfield, he'll get you one. He puts the utility where he needs to, he's locking down these sites.
On X set, Aaron only called one side of the map, only the defense. This is where this guy
bread and butter,
thrives,
baby.
and he did it again. The anchoring from him was fantastic, and same from MWE. He had a great map stack.
He really did, and that was one of the more surprising things because we didn't see too much from really anybody on GE on that first map of Split, but MWE in particular was also struggling as that second controller. It was Aaron who was really the only one who was able to get anything done, and Fazzy as well in that second half. But yeah, what a leveled up performance from him, constantly coming away with 3 kills. It was a nutty performance from this guy.
Well, and here's the thing, right? One of the things that we were really highlighting, especially in the Split game, Mimi, was the Pistols. If they were able to win an eco, maybe there's a chance here. And they were able to find that success, and how big was that for them?
I mean, it was fantastic, 4 for 4 thus far in the series, but this time they were not choking away to those rounds with the Sheriffs. It felt like they teamed up, particularly in that second half. Split was defined by a lot of unforced errors, the nerves, your first time on stage. Was kind of defined by GE warming up and showing us what they can really do.
And that just goes back to our interview there with Rushi and what he said. He said in their scrim, they do often drop that first map. They start off a little bit slow, and then they heat up, and then they take the scrim from there. And that might just be what we're looking at.
Yeah, and you know, also, well, the pride of India, right at the end of the game there, 𝐒𝐿 doing it big on the world stage, and I'm sure everyone in Mumbai was watching and losing their mind with this, because this young man, we know the skill is there, Mimi, and this was the moment where I really felt like, hey, 𝐒𝐿
Yeah, again, look back at map number 1. He was whipping some easy shots on the stage, comes into this one, and individually is feeling it. And you see how much it means to him, but also from that watch party that you're talking about, it means so much to the Indian fans. This is the first time that entire subcontinent of so many millions of people has had someone to represent them at an international Valorant tournament, and it is paying off.
Yeah, it is a wonderful thing to see. But let's go ahead, though, and move into our last map here. We're going to map 3, folks, and it's gonna be Lotus. We've been talking a lot about global esports, and they certainly deserve their moment. But let's talk about the fact that Vitality were flustered coming out of that game, and now you're going into, well, an unknown commodity yet again with Lotus.
I mean, it went from these crazy, you know, shrugging, I don't know what these guys are doing.
ये पूरा साउथ ईस्ट एशिया को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है। सारे प्लेयर इंडिया से नहीं है, कुछ इंडिया से है, 2 इंडिया से है, 2 कोरिया से है, 2 दूसरे नेशन से है, तो ऐसा करके है।
Harbor from Destrain, maybe? That could be nice.
I would like to see that one out of Destrain. It looks like if they do go through with it, it would be a solo controller answer to this map. For GE, they're going for kind of a simple comp. You see this on a lot of maps. The Omen there as a kind of the double dive with texture on that Jet. But for the other side, Vitality go for the fade raise. They're going to be good on their defense at Gambits. They're going to be good at stalling out, retaking with that Harbor wall as well. But it's a solo controller. A lot of pressure is going to be on that Harbor player.
Absolutely.
Well, here we go, folks. Map 3, one more to decide who moves forward in this competition. Let's go ahead and send it right back over to Brennan Sideshow. Hope you guys are having a good time.
Certainly am, yeah. This series is delivering so far. And yeah, this final map going to be deciding who moves forward and who goes home between Vitality and Global Esports. So far, back and forth, honestly. And now we're heading to Lotus, honestly. Even more unknowns. If we didn't know anything before we were heading into the series about these two teams, you know, we had rough glimpses, I suppose, of Vitality from the offseason. But now we really don't know what to expect.
I mean, just nothing. You can look at how you expect the compositions to work, but we've seen a range of different comps have a lot of success on Lotus. So I don't know who to give the advantage to
this fight. A lot of early pressure, looks like, from Global Esports towards A main. There's going to be a fault line there, nice and early through the connector. And the goal of this is just to try and contain this space towards A main. An instant response, though. Look at this. Vitality willing to pivot, taking control of B main, actually, and now going to be using the wall to just rotate her all the way around. Try and claim a free side onto C. A lot of util being dumped into the back of it just to clear it out, making sure that if anybody is there, they're going to be scurrying away. But it is going to be afforded now a free plan, but it's flank timing. Oh my goodness! Punishing this one, still running backwards, backpedaling from Sender.
It's a good paranoia.
Yep, it was good. Caught onto him there, and now this pressure is really on them. Sender needs to come up with a good.
Nice.
Can't quite deliver it. Taking a awkward fight there, awkward engagement, and the spike's been dropped down. Vitality were getting ahead of themselves. They took complete control of the connectors with the back of their spawn ahead of time, thinking that it was just going to be offered for them.
How do they get the spike back now?
I mean, how do you play retake? Not much util you've got available to them other than the wall from Destrian. Let's see what he does here. Splitting up the site now. They can isolate a fight, but no, just swinging all the way through. No fear whatsoever. And that consistency that we've seen time and time again from Global Esports, winning another pistol round.
Yeah, another one. 5 out of 5 pistol rounds going the way of Global Esports. And on top of that, I feel like the way that they're abusing the frenzy is giving them so much success. A lot of frenzy usage in these pistol rounds, and the big flank there, catching the planter completely unaware. And Vitality had no idea that they'd given up their own spawn. And I'm not even worried about this round. Probably shouldn't say that.
Yeah, what a way to curse it.
But I'm not worried about this round because Global Esports, since Pearl, just feel like they've fixed that issue.
Putting through into it. Spike going to be dropped down to the corner. Late lurk from Bonecord. He can do some real damage here. Okay.
I'm worried.
You should be worried, Josh.
I'm worried again.
Yeah, listen. You're going to get the entire ire of India on you as well if you keep this one up.
It wasn't my fault.
Well, kills are offered up. 3 for 3 still in this round now. 3 versus 3, I should say. And now slowing it down a little bit here for Vitality, making sure that they wait it out.
I think Vitality's composition is usually going to have a lot of utility. But in these early rounds, they can't afford all of it, obviously. So Global Esports should have opportunities to get much better retakes early in the half compared to later. The question is just whether, you know, Sender lands a headshot or Bonecold finds a pick. And the Global Esports players are not going to have any idea whether Vitality have pushed deep, because they're miles away.
They're contented all the way up. It's always awkward, honestly, retaking the C side when you don't have any control of the inner workings of the map, the connectors, because you really do have to clear everything carefully. You don't know if they could have pushed up. You can see Aaron making sure it's a slow and steady approach here, just trying to link up with the rest of his team from Waterfall.
Time is going to tick, but Vitality, again, have no util, so no post-plant ability.
Flash to push them through. One player holding at water there. That's Bonecold to the back. They want to fight this one, and the Sheriff's in their hands. Anything could happen. Run and gun in action, but Aaron, he will win out the fight eventually. Drop down to 17 health, but listen, not as clean as we've seen, at least from Pearl being able to convert those anti-ecos, but it does get converted nevertheless.
There was no need to be worried.
Of course, yes.
There was no need to be worried.
Guys, don't flood my DMs. It's fine.
But yeah, Global Esports, really important that they convert that one. And Aaron has been a rock for them to hold on to. It was Texture and Monye really dominating map 2, but Aaron was there solidly the whole time, and he pulls them through in another pistol.
Yeah.
Just like he did to open split.
Let's see what happens here with this next round. So Global Esports not opting to buy into the rifles. It's a much weaker buy from them, just continuing the bonus, keeping it going. See what they can get done. A lot of util being used though, and that flash, oh my goodness! Up close, corralled into the corner, slowed all the way down. Twiston Making a Vandal look like a Phantom. One yet though up close. Oh my. Trigger discipline, just can't quite find a second shot.
Could have been everything, couldn't it?
Yeah, makes it dangerous for them though. Jump peek, 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐄𝐒 taking it again. There's a bit of a Marshall moment. Gun is quite good, by the way.
Any damage done here is actually huge. Rossi could give his team a phenomenal advantage in round 4.
So how does he want to play this one? I mean, he hoovered up the rifle in his hands right now with his Phantom. And he should be playing for the kills, like you said, Josh.
Yeah, I think he wants to be playing pretty aggressively. I don't think saving the rifle here is the right move. But looks like he just wants to take a cautious approach. And that's going to let Twist and Bone Cold 𝐒𝐿, that's going to let those guys off the hook.
Yeah. Maybe not willing to give them potentially any easy kills. 𝐒𝐿𝐄 is 2 away from his ult, so
yeah, there's always
play close to it.
There is always a risk reward.
Yeah. 3 away from Bone Colds and Twistons, so.
And there's a lot of ways to play for ult orbs on this map. But still, okay. SK Rossi taking the safe approach there. A Vitality, that means that they're going to be able to get a decent buy, but I think this breach flash, where you just saw Twiston follow up, that clearly was not accounted for by Global Esports.
No.
So they need to adjust to that. If they're going to commit so many bodies to try and control A, you can't just allow all of you guys to get flashed and stuck in a corner. That was a massive miss. Texture with an operator in his hands, though, was such a major win condition on 𝐿. And here we see it again.
Yeah, it might be just that. Once more, that is a heavy stack, though, from Global Esports. Look at that. Essentially leaning 4 of their players over. Obviously, the connector still being played as well by or by Bazzi, I should say. And they are, once again, pushing up off the back of this drone. Now, they did this prior, though. They did this in the pistol round, so it should be contained and aware. And look at this Vitality. Oh, they've got all 4 of their players ready for the approach, but it is just an absolute slaughter back and forth.
I don't think they were expecting as many of the global players to be there. Vitality have called an immediate pivot into C, but that's the game plan from Aaron. He wants them to run into the nano swarms.
Look at this angle. Operator in his hands, Texture. He's holding for it. The clearance isn't good. Oh my goodness, the spacing just good enough. Still a bit of damage done there through the wall. Bone Cold dropped down to 5 health. The damage is being done now in this 2v3. Still, you can't afford to give up too much. Paranoia play. Twiston tries to
5
swing through on.
It's just 5
down into that 1v3. Bone Cold will have to really pull out all the stops to be trying to win this one, and it's just not possible. Not with the resources available to him. So, Global Esports, really good options, really good ideas as they're heading into this defense side.
Yeah, I think that round was fantastic. I mean, the triple stack from Global Esports on one side of the map, driving the Vitality players into nanoswarms and the operator on the other side. That is really good. And also, the small mistakes that we were seeing from Global before, where they would line up and give easy spray downs and not be there supporting each other, a lot of that has gone away, almost all of it. And because of the weird situation that Vitality's economy is in, they're almost baited into force buying again. They've had 2 back-to-back rounds where Global Esports has the advantage in the economy. And this is scrap metal
And
the
another
Vitality
clash,
are working
though.
with.
That's what's going to be happening here towards the A side of the map. That's done. The fault line is there. And yeah, with a bit of spam through the doors, and when an Odin's in your hands, I mean, that thing can seem like paper. Still, the fight needs to be taken. Got to be careful. Don't want to give away too much. And what's going to be offered for them? Well, has to dodge that flash, and as he does, it creates that opening.
It's the same breach flash ruining Global Esports' control over A, and it's opened up a gap for Twiston.
Oh, yeah, and just with the door opened up, that one connector, the prior fight being taken, lurks his way in. This is all but over for Global Esports. I mean, Texture's doing a lot, just very disciplined there as he just tries to slowly pick up onto this angle, even a crouch peek as well. Nade pushing them back. I think if you are Global Esports, just want to be saving the weapons that you got here. Don't want to be giving away the operator.
Yeah, if they can play exits, that would be beneficial, just to keep damaging Vitality's economy. But this map, you can just exit everywhere.
It's a lot offered for them, but just to talk about this round that actually ended up happening as well, a recurring thing that we've seen, like you said, Josh, that breach flash that's not being dealt with when they fight over that A main control.
It's
I think Vitality's comp is much better at fighting for that early A main pressure.
They have a lot more utility that they can throw into that area, and also, I feel like whether it's players getting blinded or players having to turn away, that breach flash is ruining them. And it might be something where Texture wants to pre-cloudburst the area. Just so
to block it off.
Yeah, just to block it off, so that when the flash pops, he doesn't have to worry about it. You just saw it there in the replay. It blooms kind of really high in the defender's sightline, but you could cloudburst that if you can predict the timing of it.
It's difficult.
Or alternatively, have somebody play from kind of the A site position so that they're anti-flash.
Yeah.
And they can swing, but the angles are awkward.
So we step ourselves now into this round here, round 6. Swing off the Prowler. Oh, that's dealt with. Twistin. Felt like there wasn't too much else behind that one. Maybe just a little bit late with the stun that should have been coming, but
I like this Odin idea from MWE. It is working.
a lot of warbang angles on this map in particular. Saw Cloud getting good usage of it actually earlier in the tournament. A couple of Guardian kills, but it's an interesting round because the ultimates are building up on either side. A lot of tools to work with. You might start to see some of them offloaded.
3 players on the B site, and if Bonecall gets his breach ult in there, those guys will not be able to hold on. It is a tiny choke point though, so risk reward maybe not quite Vitality's favor.
आज 3 मैच है, इसके बाद एक और है, उसके बाद एक और है. थर्ड वाला मैच नहीं देख सकता, लेकिन सेकंड मैच कोशिश करेंगे पूरा देखने के लिए. बहुत लेट तक होता है ना, इसलिए पहला मैच पूरा देख सकता हूँ मैं, लेकिन थर्ड मैच बहुत रात को होता है.
So there might be a pivot in play yet. There's a Nightfall. Moves them back. No more audio cues from MWE yet. And there's a Rolling Thunder. That's used in response. Global Esports pushing them back, but still pushing their way through. Aftershock into the corner. It's going to be causing it to be a little bit more awkward, and time is running so damn low now. The wall's still blocking off these sightlines. Plant's going to go down, and no one really disrupting this up close to the wall. Texture does cover it.
What a shot.
And it has to be Heroics. It has to be now. One after the other. The double swing, not spacing themselves out, and it is just crumbling before them. What was an opening, what was an opportunity for Global Esports to at least turn that in their favor? It just crumbles. The same errors we were talking about in map number 1, just rearing their heads there.
Oh, and that's a 4v2. A 4v2 retake, I think, where it all just fell to pieces. Texture did such a good job at hitting the first one onto Destrian. But then this kind of crouch peek play from Buzzy is... no bueno.
Yeah, not too good, but...
And set Sender up for a 4K, holding on, and Vitality now powered up.
So forcing Global Esports down to that eco. Texture one away from his Blade Storm. It's a heavy stack over towards A.
This पहले वाला मैच बहुत interesting
some
है.
of that A main pressure, so they've realized the mistake prior. And they're like, okay, well, we don't really have the util to go pound for pound and try and fight for that control, so we'll give it up.
If they can sniff out the A stack though, the rest of the map is so weak from
yeah.
Global's defense.
ये जगह ब्राजील में हो रहा है.
You see this positioning being played by Aaron. I mean, he was behind just the bank of sand.
हाँ, ब्राजील में हो रहा है.
Has to give it up. He does hear that util being used into the front side of B.
Uh-oh, the spike is returning over to A. Global Esports haven't moved an inch.
As he's holding his fall line, I think. Maybe off a bit of util, but revealing a couple of these players, fault line, and a nade as well.
Okay, the pivot into B here makes more sense to me, I think.
Yeah, a lot has been showcased so far, I think. Global Esports making it quite obvious that they've stacked this and out into B. Should be a free plant, yeah, especially with the Cove. It's going to be blocking any potential damage. Obviously, the position isn't even there in the first place, but playing for this retake, I think narrow sight lines, narrow angles as well. Could see that the pistols get a bit of work done. Dart pushes the players back now, and Vitality feeling the pressure. It's definitely on. Shorty right up close and personal, still twisting. Lurks his way around, and no one is dealing with this guy at all. Shorty in play. That's going to be that slam dunk. Looking like it could have got a bit dangerous, but no. Vitality win it out. 4 players remaining alive.
Let's go.
And I think at this point in the game, after 7 rounds have been played, Vitality should have a really good read of how Global Esports are playing their defense. And this is where a good attack side caller or a good coach
VIT तो अच्छा ही खेलता है.
give you a lot of other good ideas for the rest of the rounds.
इसका जो twisting player बोल के है वो बहुत अच्छा खेल रहा है, बहुत अच्छा खेल रहा है.
Double blast packing into C very much. We saw players do that a lot in some of the previous games on Lotus. I mean, Jing comes to mind, but there were a bunch of other people doing it.
Yeah.
But He has his Raze ult. There's only really been Aaron holding the C site early on. I feel like that's incredibly abusable. And Global Esports have taken a timeout here, but that also allows Salah to talk to Vitality. And I'm concerned because Global's defensive plan doesn't look too bad, but they're putting a lot of resources into fighting A lobby, and they're still losing that. So that weakens the rest of the map whilst not even allowing them to hold A lobby.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea, but they don't have the tools to really execute the plan.
Well, one of the best looks that they have showcased so far, at least, is putting that operator in the hands of Texture. Because honestly, one of the weaknesses of Vitality's comp, I will say, is that this Harbor, this solo controller, you can't smoke just A main and fake that you're pressuring A main. So an operator is really powerful from long
लेकिन
sidelines.
सोच भी नहीं सकते मतलब कितना मतलब यहाँ पे खेलना यानी इंडियन लेवल पे डोमेस्टिक लेवल पे खेलना और इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे खेलना बहुत हार्ड
Very unusual. He's probably going to have to send out a
बहुत
recon
डिफरेंस है
early for
बहुत
some control and then operate.
एक राउंड निकालने में
I
बहुत
think they're going to go for the play that I talked
दिमाग
about,
लगाना
double blast
पड़ता है
pack with the Raze ult into C.
Util being dumped through, so control of A. Immediately pivoting. They know that they're pushing up a lot of the player base. Now you can see a lot of the team of Vitality. Dumping a bit of utility through, and now you see it reckoning in a showstopper. Great combination. Clears out the site entirely. And this ult is a little bit really awkward there from SK Rossi. Dashing away just to avoid that showstopper rocket that was flying right towards their spawn. But
अगर इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे जाके अपने देश के लिए खेल रहे हो तो
as the plant was going down, then maybe they don't get that one off.
timing. Oh my goodness, the lurk. Oh, it's all just a bit hidden, isn't it? Monyet, will he be able to be aware of this? Not quite. Sender's reflank has just been brutal for them. Backstabbing them. Moving forwards though, Aaron does deal with this one. Now how does this retake happen? A lot of util. Aftershock into the corner. SK Rossi moving up. Has the
प्रोफेशनल सोवा प्लेयर नहीं
His
वो
close time is running low.
पहले खेलता था डुएलिस्ट
Trying to
खेलता
stick
था
this now. The raw spam, the
अभी
random spam.
रिसेंटली
Trying to go with a quick
यहाँ पे
scope. Half
स्विच
onto
किया
the defuse. No one's dealt with Twiston. And he was just that extra layer that they needed.
Good execution from Vitality. Nice post-plant play as well. And Global Esports finding it very difficult to
नहीं हो
retake
रहा
an op in the hands of
लूज राउंड आ गया बहुत लूज राउंड आ गया
Kind of setup here makes it really difficult. That post-plant spot that is miles out in the open. And they're able to get that plant down because there was nobody on C. They're leaving C open super early in the rounds.
नहीं होना है नहीं होना
I think you're
चाहिए
probably going to see something similar here from Vitality. If they try and go towards A and they meet too much resistance, pivot C, get a plan.
Yeah, they just want to fight over this one. Again, the double flashes up into the top corner. This time, no Texture. He does have the blade storm, and yet backing him up. Paranoia now, going to be ripping through, and it does land on a couple of the targets. All that util being dumped forwards. They're going to be able to win out this fight. Question is, can they fight and claim over this next rifle? Destrint's there, just trying to take the battle to them.
VIT का ओनर पता नहीं है
Making
ब्रो
it awkward.
Yeah, they
गूगल सर्च
traded
करना
kill
पड़ेगा
but get
मुझे
2 rifles for it, so it's still good for Global Esports. Double Vandal, 3v3 retake. Vitality are favored for sure, and they've got nice post-plant positions, but it's winnable for Global Esports.
It becomes really hard to try and clear out. Players were holding close.
Multi's given away where he is.
Yeah, it's revealed. On a headshot angle though, there's not going to be a re-swing. Dart push back now. Has to be aware that there could be a push, but time, again, starting to run low. These post-plant positions, they don't know that there are a few players there holding it. The timing. Someone needs to start sticking this. Where are the protocols? Where are the layers? Tap onto the spike, but it's just so difficult to try and win out now, and left up to Aaron. Will claim a rifle in the middle of all of this one, but another round tallied up now for Vitality. They're going to be, I think, 6 on the board.
And this is where Global Esports needs to change up the defensive setup. I mean, you can't just do the same thing every time and expect it to work. When Vitality have got the read, I think you need to be putting pressure. Maybe you fight Sand this round, or maybe Texture opts towards C this round, or you go for, you know, a stack towards B and play retake A. I don't know. There are different options here, but the point being that they need to shift. Vitality have got the read currently. And so you see it happen, actually. And it looks like Texture is going to be set up with the operator on C. But they've still got the Killjoy utility behind that. Might have been better off putting Aaron on B. But this is a new team, and I'm sure Aaron's scrambling to come up with the adjustments early.
Oh, nice shot.
My goodness, Bazzi, given the timing, you can't still be taking that fight, though. He does back away with the aftershock, so early kill found.
हाँ होना तो चाहिए ब्रो,
target as well in the form
चाहता
of
तो
Twiston,
वो हो
but
जाए,
an instant rotation
लेकिन
now by
VIT
Vitality.
इतना
They
अच्छा
noticed
खेल
that
रहा है ना,
early utility
लोग
wasn't being
पकड़ ही नहीं
used
पा रहे हैं.
towards A main. Chances are not playing it, but 𝐒𝐄𝐄𝐒 gets some really good mid-round information, and that drone spots at least 2 of the players.
And there's 3 players ready to defend A.
Yep, swarming back onto the site. Operator, Texture pushing forwards, that's a risky maneuver.
And he missed the shot.
Yeah, mistimes, risky timings, and there was a gap into the smoke. The spam is just not being afforded, is it? No angles to really play for, and the
Again
operator's
down
going to be
loss.
salvaged, picked up,
VIT
backed away.
अमेरिका से,
Global Esports forced to
American team.
save for another day.
Vitality looking clean. I like the pivots as they move around the map. I think one of the big things that Boncold's done well here is make his team quick to react to things. When they realize that there's pressure in one area of the map, they're very fast.
बोला ना ब्रो, जी का इनिशियल तो जी का मतलब इंडियन टीम है, उसका जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है इंडियन का है, लेकिन अभी जो प्लेइंग 5 है उसमें सारा प्लेयर इंडियन नहीं है, कुछ इंडियन है, कुछ कोरिया से है, कुछ अमेरिका से है, ऐसा सब जगह से है.
Play retake there. I mean, maybe it's different if Texture ends up landing a shot. This could be really dangerous with a no
अरे यार
scope.
सेव
He can't even save the weapons into
होता
it.
No, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal. Not only do you lose all of your weaponry, but Vitality didn't have to use their Breach ultimate or their Killjoy ultimate. They still have 2 enormous tools to win another round. On C, on B, you know, wherever they want to use them, maybe a post plant A. There are just so many options on this map for how you want to work the ults.
Steadily gaining a
सबसे
lead.
बड़ा इन इंडिया, इंडिया तो बहुत सारा है ब्रो, जी है, VLT है,
Yeah, so I
in
guess
Well,
Japan,
I suppose for Global
बहुत सारा
Esports,
है.
but
how many
honestly,
rounds do Global Esports need?
yeah, I mean,
इन वर्ल्ड
Four in the
उतना ऐसा नहीं बोल सकते, सभी
4 in the
बड़ा
pistol,
होता
I
है,
think, might be the
लाइक
minimum.
सभी सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में ही बहुत सारा अच्छा अच्छा प्लेयर होता है, बहुत इन्वेस्ट करता है.
That's what Global Esports have
Every
been forced down to, and
organization
it's
is
pretty obvious there's
good.
pressure. That's a paranoia, but doesn't catch all of it. And the Horn has to be dealt with, which resets the aim of Texture. He can't even get a kill out of it. Nano Swarms. Down low into the corner, that nade. Aaron forced out wide into the open. Doesn't pay for it with his life. Could spam the common angle, but no, there's a cove in the way, so even the bullets would be blocked. Quite interesting though. He has
नहीं
managed
वो
to lurk his way
VLT
into
है,
a
ये
slight timing.
VIT है. VLT अलग है, VLT तो पूरा इंडियन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, वेलोसिटी गेमिंग, ये तो VIT है,
Sees just to delay this one. Phone call as
ये
well.
अलग है.
Right at the back. Angles are being watched for and played for. Even that
उसको तुमने सही
lockdown, but
बोला,
no, they
VLT
just
का उन्हें सही बोला,
went
तुमने
right into that
सेंटिनल जो
common
है
angle.
वो सही बोला तुमने, लेकिन ये VIT है, वाइटलिटी
Defensive
गेमिंग.
ideas are reeking of desperation.
ये देख रहे हो, ये टीम
Global
वाइटलिटी लिखा
Esports
हुआ
with
है,
an attempt at a sand
ये
quench, but
VIT.
no one was pushing on C.
Bit half-baked.
Very half-baked, yeah. Needed more time in the proofing draw. Sad deflated. But if Global Esports can get this
गया
round,
शायद मैच गया.
their dominance in the pistols might be able to carry them through to still making a map out of this. But it's the same idea again, the same pressure. Let's see if the breach flash from Boncold works.
Yeah, already to flash over the top. Texture dashing forwards. There is a dart in play. No one was dealing with this one. And yet again, okay.
Bazzi used his ult
element. Yeah, that was an ult to push them back. I mean, have to use the smoke, I suppose, just to plot the course all the way into B. You can see the players have already taken up all this space. The spike, though, out in the open. Bazzi just needs to contain this.
हाँ मैंने वो देखा था, जाया भी है,
Right
लेकिन
now,
वो शायद
Nightfall now
कंटेंट
being used for
क्रिएटर
a
के
fight
लिए है.
towards A main. Smoke's going to be fading any minute now, and the fight being taken and won right now. Global Esports. They shut that one down. Have to be aware. Bazzi backing away. Peak timing.
Nice shot, nice
Puts his
shot.
position known, but now it's all down to
1v4,
center.
1v4.
Still, looks like it should be an easy one
8-4,
for Global
let's go.
Esports.
Yeah, I think the spike being down made all the difference. Like, trade offer. We take A, you get the rest of the map. Normally not a good trade, but when the spike is down and there's nowhere to pivot,
That's nice.
Global Esports have the advantage. Good double face, making sure Sender doesn't have a crumb of it. And they're 4-8 at the half. Could this still be winnable for Global?
The potential is there. And like we said earlier, it is a bit more of an attack-sided map from what we've seen so far at the tournament, but probably going to need the pistol round as we head into that second half. That's going to be the big question. But before we even get into any of that, the first half is done and dusted. Let's send it down to the desk to break it all down.
Thank you so much, fellas. And it
हाँ,
was
अभी तो होना चाहिए,
definitely
अभी
a
तो पलटन
great half
चेंज
there
होना चाहिए.
for Vitality, especially at the closeout, Mimi. I mean, just undefeated until we got to the half.
Yeah, GE really struggled to shut down on their defensive side, and I think a lot of that came down to the read on the game and the way that they were playing towards A long. In
ठीक है bro, लेकिन
we saw this squad
अच्छा खासा पिक मिल रहा है या फिर टीम को हेल्प हो रहा है तो फिर बॉटम फ्लैग का कोई मतलब प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा. टीम को हेल्प हो रही है वही बड़ी बात है. और इस जगह पे जाके किल करना तो बहुत बड़ी बात है. वो 3 किल पे है या फिर 4 किल पे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. यहाँ पे किल हो रहा है यही बड़ी बात है.
Mid-round movement that we're seeing here from Vitality has also been fantastic. Just getting a sense of where these players are positioned from the side of GE. You saw that shift. It was a thrifty attempt coming through from GE. They're all stacked up on that A site, and they just get a sense of that. Immediately cut through, get onto B, get that plant down. And it was fantastic for them. Do you want to take a closer look though at Twisted, who has been impressive? Wasn't sure how he was going to look moving over to the right. Actually had to flip back, and I saw that this is his most played Asian actually of all time, overtaking his Jet. His Jet looked very, very good on that first map. Was curious to see if it was going to be him or Molzy picking it up, but so far he's had a pretty strong performance on that.
28 किल या 29 किल किया था फर्स्ट मैच में ये बंदा. नहीं 23 किल किया था इसने. जो भी मारना हिट पे ही जा रहा है.
Get a lot of value out of that nade, but here is where push comes to shove. GE, they have had a great series thus far. They have debuted, proved that India can compete on the international stage, but they're on the precipice of going home. This is where it matters most. 5 out of 5 on pistol rounds thus far. They need to win it again here. This 6-1 will be the most important.
If they can get the 6th, it would be monstrous.
Star player.
Mention of, how so far in this tournament we've been seeing a lot of success on that attacking side. Let's see if that still remains true here.
लेकिन GE भी इतना अच्छा टक्कर दे रहा है वही बड़ी बात है.
Map 2. Now the question is, can they claw this back and pull off something I don't think Vitality was prepared for in this series? Let's send it back over to Brennan Sideshow.
GE को जीतना चाहिए bro. Let's see.
Let's get back into it now. Final map of this series between Global Esports and Vitality, culminating in quite the display. And there's that stat again. 5 for 5 so far for Global Esports with these pistol rounds, and now potentially one of the most important ones they've ever played coming up.
Almost looks like fake pressure towards A, but they are going to follow the flash recon play, at least initially here. Vitality have taken sand, so a bit of a flip in the map.
Yeah, deep position there onto C, and that's pressure being, again, just flooded through now into this B site. Sender, oh, this smoke is just a little bit off in terms of the angle. Tried to take an early fight, doesn't know if they pushed him. Backed away, the plan's gonna get off, and this repush, they don't quite claim too many more kills, but Destro falling is a big one.
This is wonky now though, because Vitality control every other part of the map. They're gonna ambush Global Esports.
To reflank the post plants, there needs to be some plays being made, and guess what, Monyet steps up to the plate. Handsome and easy kill in the form of Bone Cold. Aaron's reflank is everything, but doesn't buy this time, just backs away. One bullet and it does the job.
Oh, flanks on flanks for Global Esports.
The IGL just doing the most right now for them. Last player known, Twisted is finished, and 6 for 6, a flawless on the pistol round. Beautiful stuff, and it sets off Global Esports on the right foot to try and get even in this final map.
Even if Global Esports end up going out of this tournament in the first round, I think they've showcased that their pistol rounds at a minimum can make matches happen.
Yeah.
𝐒𝐿RaiseR, the head coach, and Aaron, the IGL, have cooked up some really cool stuff. The post-plant flank there was good. The push into spawn was a nice idea too. Okay, are they aware that Twisted went for this push before? Because Vitality are doing the same thing again.
Close stun. It looks like he wants to clear it. Yep, stunned up. That was a crossfire.
Good work.
Almost taken off the head of Azzy, but yeah, they show a lot of patience with clearing that one.
We saw 𝐒𝐿𝐿 run the same kind of play with XMS and Navira. And
भाई एक बुलेट मैंने एक्सपेक्ट भी नहीं किया था कि चला कि मर गया वो.
To clear that out. What is this? The Harbor Circle of Doom.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of angle, I suppose, that a player could be wading in and out of, but Paranoia rips across, so doesn't seem like
2v5, let's go. 1v5.
There we go, nice and easy. Another flawless.
Let's go.
Prime Gaming at that, and keeping all those weapons going.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for Global Esports to have a really dangerous bonus round, because they have just hit them with the Prime Gaming flawless. I feel like any opportunity the global players have to get their confidence up is going to be dangerous for Vitality. We saw that momentum build on Pearl, and Vitality could not stop it. Obviously, the halves flipped here. Global now has to do it on the attack side rather than the defense.
This is what they've got to be careful of, though. Vitality, this comp, is so good at punishing this. And look at that, the nade was actually landed intentional for any sort of player that might be TPing behind that wall.
Yeah, it was actually a Seize nade as well. There was a crazy lineup from 𝐒𝐿𝐒.
Yeah, so that's a set play, anticipating that MWE on the Omen would be TPing across, but no one deals with the Haunt. Lights him up through the wall, and it offers that easy kill, but they do get the 1-for-1.
And I think this breakable wall is such an interesting dynamic on Lotus. Whoever controls this A segment of the map probably wants to break that wall that connects it to B. So the Vitality players don't have any info about whether they could be going through to B. They're having to hold very passively in the 4v4. And from our point of view, we see that Sender might well be under a bit of pressure.
There's the dart, bounces into the back of the site. It's going to be broken, and there is a wall in the face of some of these players. An instant pivot now, though, moving their way into B.
Another gorgeous lurk timing,
Remain
maybe.
and Aaron Wild.
क्या होता है सब लोग एक साथ मैच देखते हैं बड़ी स्क्रीन पे मैच चलता है सब लोग एक साथ मैच देखते हैं मजा आता है बहुत मजा आता है
to block off that angle, but again feels a bit awkward once more. A bit of panic
watch
maybe just
party में
being
बहुत मजा
injected
आता है
into
अगर
this
सब
round.
दोस्त लोग एक साथ देखते हैं ना मैच बड़ा मजा आता है
Turret dealt with right at the back. The Nanoswarm making sure that he can't be pushed. And it's down to SK Rossi, but Sender again just that off angle, perfect crosshair placement.
Damage done though on the bonus, and remember that is the goal for global esports.
सब वीडियो गेम में मजा आता है ब्रो, लेकिन मैं वैलोरेंट से स्टार्ट किया तो मुझे ज्यादा मजा आता है इसमें.
It keeps things suppressed on the Vitality side, but you do have to be putting important rounds on the board, and this is one of them.
चले जा रहा है
Can
9-6
𝐒𝐿𝐒 get an ult orb and get some kind of lockdown play going, perhaps? SK Rossi with an operator, the attacking Sova op. I haven't seen this since Prime Wardell days.
And it works out, I suppose. Listen,
there we go.
Angle watch, Sender. Even trying to go for a jump pick or what, we'll have to see that in the replay. But now he's seeing all this pressure onto Bone Cold. No one was watching that angle but the dart. Reveals his position and takes this good for it. Just slightly just moving around there. Sight going to be gained.
Another good plant position. Oh no, Bazzi actually forced to go for a safe plant here.
Yeah, it drops back now, and you're seeing this lockdown being used. Attack side lockdown. Global Esports looking to see if they can get this space, but it's a contacting in. Fight being taken. Twiston opting into this. Oh my goodness, and the fault line, Twiston. Oh my word, did he get detained there? Looks likely. Just couldn't quite satchel his way out of there, but there's no punish. Still, the plant goes down, leaving Twiston alive.
3v2, let's go.
But it is a safe plant, which is a bit more difficult to work with. You can see Aaron's in a spot to swing up
into the corner, Prowler as well. MWE needs help. Going to be TPing away, actually. Just backs. Now, control of water is going to be so important to just hold this one. Sees into the back, double swings there. It's beautiful. And the Seas catches onto two, just lined up. Vitality. They cannot be stopped. And moments like that just getting so dangerous. I said it. Twiston was detained, but they just did not want to try and push it to punish.
Yeah, maybe that's going to bite them. But I mean, the Vitality's retake there looking so good. That duo has just been so stellar in this match of Twiston and 𝐒𝐿𝐒. The duelist duo, if you want to call it that, but obviously 𝐒𝐿𝐒 playing Fade here. But the way that they're syncing these things up, the C's, the nade, the swing timings, they have got such great synergy between them.
Magnificent.
And that puts global esports firmly on the back foot.
Yeah, this is a really rough position now for them.
Terrible stuff. I mean, pistols in hand, and SK Rossi picking up a hero rifle.
So it has to be the playmaker. Vitality though pushing forwards. It's a heavy take towards the front side of B, and any attempt of a punish is just offset immediately, losing two players. It's a pivot though. Global Esports moving forwards, and still the rifle in the hands of Rossi needs to be the playmaker. But a difficult site for them to take fault line into the back of it. Plant position is there, but the wall blocking them off. They need to move past this. Playing forwards deep onto the site. Rossi wins the first duel for them. First step of the miracle plan. Tries to take the second with a wider swing. Dealt with. Flash timing ever so off. And Bazzi, with just a classic, there's only so much he could really do.
I love that play with the Harbor Cascade. Destrian using the Cascade and the push out of B is so good there. It blocks off the long sight line where you might be able to get punished by somebody in spawn. And it also, if someone tries to swing through it, they're slowed. So it's really difficult to help this player that gets stuck on the right. And Texture tries to help, but he's just so labored and slow. It's like going through molasses. Global Esports are going to take a timeout here as they ponder what to do. Now, 𝐒𝐏𝐄𝐂𝐒's hero rifle hasn't hurt their economy too much here. Texture still has the Blade Storm available. So Global are going to be able to get a full buy. But if they don't win this round, it is game over. It is goodbye India. So this is the round that everything hangs on. And it's brutal, man. Yeah. Even if Global get to a plant, all of the retake ultimates are available for Vitality. I don't know how you cook up a favored round situation here for Global.
Seems so difficult. 6-11 being that scoreline. Vitality on the cusp. Being able to take away the series, take away the map. No room for error for Global Esports. And that's what this timeout is aiming to achieve, seeing if they can cook up a plan.
I think it has to be around Texture. If Texture is going to be using his knives, you want to put him in a spot to capitalize on that early on. And so either you want to be dashing him on top of the bank on A, playing inside his smoke and then swinging out of it with a flash, or I think you want to be sending him fast into C with an updraft dash and seeing if you can overwhelm Sender. I think those are the two best options for getting value out of your Jet.
There's no way.
But, I mean, you look at the positioning on the mini-map, and this looks almost exploratory towards B early on. Maybe they're planning to use a Cloudburst and connect with their C players?
But again, 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒 has been afforded this operator.
It's strange, isn't it?
So much faith being placed into his hands.
But it's not just faith. It means that he's going to be disconnected from his team and can't use the recon or the dart to set up Twiston. They're splitting their win conditions, and it might be a compromise that hurts them.
Moving forward, slow and steady. It's the name of the game in a Rolling Thunder. They want to punish this one, and 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐒 the nade into the corner. Can't move anywhere, still alive for now. Where's going to be dealt with? And he is finally. The spray down.
A Vitality grab hold of the tempo, never allowing Global Esports a moment to imprint their pace on the map.
There needs to be an instant response here from Global Esports, and you're seeing it live in the flesh now as the players walk forward. Aaron, a critical kill for him. Late lurking into mid, finds his mark.
He's been good on them, hasn't he?
Yep.
These lurks have always found value from Aaron, and it's a better plant position now.
What is the play here, Monyet? So close to the smoke, just about to fade. He's pushing forwards into it, and it's a run and gun. They're just trying to fight them deep into the play. A dash forwards to try and disengage here. U2 being held, a bit of run and gun, and somehow Aaron wins that one. It is so damn awkward, but it's down to that 2v2. Wall blocks the sight line, Cove as well. It needs to be spammed for. The Blaze Storm just not catching it, and Texture forced to spam, forced to try and find the fight, but he can't do it. Stuck all the way through, and Vitality find themselves now on series point.
So many opportunities for Vitality. Any mistakes from Global Esports, and they are gone. The buy doesn't look its best, but they're still going to have rifles. One last desperate run for Global Esports. Vitality look like they've done the important work already.
Yeah, I mean, this is them in the driving seat and more. 3 big ultimates to their name. The util combos this time layered into A main, doesn't grab any kills. Dash forwards, Manel actually sticking this ultimate as well. He's deep into the back line. Position's known though, Multi's going to be backing away. And he does dodge that paranoia, but it's creating an awkward timing right now. What does Multi want to do, holding the edge of this smoke? Meanwhile, Global Esports not wasting any time with this kind of pressure. That's going to be the aftershock, pushing them back out of the way. Fight needs to be taken right up close and personal. It is traded though, but still Vitality going pound to pound. And it's all down to Texture. A 1v2 to keep his team in it, just to try and survive. Texture up in the side, dashing forwards, dodging that showstopper. He knows where the positioning is. Spike in his hands, a tap of the plan, needs to force the fight, but a doubled-up position is there. Vitality safe hands for them. 13-6 of the scoreline. They have sent Global Esports home.
Global Esports definitely made them work for it, but it is a win on the board for Vitality. I think both teams demonstrated some really cool stuff in this series. Vitality split looked really really well thought out, a lot of good game plans coming from Bone Cold. We saw set plays on Lotus from Vitality. The breach ult to isolate 𝐒𝐿𝐿 in those final couple of rounds was really good. And Twiston, 𝐒𝐄𝐒, Sender, the individual talent is there. But also, when you look at global esports, there were so many doubters who just thought this team was a ragtag bunch of people thrown together at the last minute that didn't have a hope. And I think that they've proved people wrong, despite the loss. Taking a map in the manner they did, and showcasing that they still had what it took to push Vitality. I think this was a decent opener for global esports, and something that they will definitely be building on as the year goes on.
That's always been the goal for a team like global esports, is long-term focus, high-risk, high-reward projects with them picking up so many duelist players, but I think you can see glimpses of success here. But ultimately today, it is Vitality who are on top. Vitality who reign supreme, and this is a dark horse team heading into this tournament. I think they showed glimpses of really well thought out stuff, moments of sheer brilliance as well from some of their star players, Twiston and 𝐒𝐿𝐿 in particular.
Yeah.
Really setting the pace in some of those rounds.
Yeah, remember those names. Twiston said earlier that they don't have any big names, any big stars on the team. But that's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
This team's got talent, it's got skill. And look at the figure down at the bottom there in the middle, Bone Cold. How far will his journey go this year? He's already been up to the top of the mountain, and now he's back, pushing that boulder once again. But Vitality should not be underestimated. I know that this was still a close game, but they've got upset potential. I spoke to Bone Cold, and he said
second match में भूल गया bro.
And Salah's goal for the team as well is to be a team that you hate to go up against. Someone that when you see them in the bracket, you think, oh, crap, really, Vitality? We have to get through them? And that's what they're looking to do at Lockdown, is build that reputation for themselves. The first step is winning this match right here.
RRQ or FUT Sports.
I've done that, but definitely putting the pride of EMEA on their back.
कल का पहला मैच मैं फिर से वॉच पार्टी करूंगा. Fnatic and Sentinel. ये भी बहुत तगड़ी मैच होने वाली है कल का.
And Sender, great options for it.
Yeah.
You're gonna ask me who I want?
Who do you want?
I would take, I think you'd have to give it to Twiston.
Yeah, I was
right?
thinking the same, yeah.
Yeah.
I think just the way that his jet performed, he did get shut down
दोनों ही American team है.
so he didn't get too much value on that half. I think that was actually one of the big win conditions.
Yeah.
If your win condition is shut down Twiston and you get the win, probably means Twiston's doing pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for the first series of the day, but guess what? Don't go anywhere. There's even more Valorant action happening on the other side of this break, so we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Oh. इसको अब टीम नहीं अच्छा खेला ब्रो. मतलब अकेला ट्विस्टन नहीं, लेकिन टीम नहीं अच्छा खेला, बहुत अच्छा खेला. हाँ, बहुत अच्छा टक्कर दिया उन लोगों ने. नाइस ट्राई. नेक्स्ट मैच कब से है एक्चुअली? आई थिंक 1:30 से है. अभी भी हाफ एन आवर है. या 1:30. ये 4:30 बजे से है ये वाला. बाप रे बाप. इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे बहुत सारा अफेक्टेड काम करता है, तो वहां पे जाके जीतना, एक मैच जीता है वही बड़ी बात है. पहली बार जाके एक मैच जीता है. हैट्स ऑफ.
Match found.
पॉइंट टेबल नहीं होता ब्रो यहाँ पे जो जीतता है वो आगे चला जाता है, और जो हारता है वो एलिमिनेट. पॉइंट टेबल नहीं होता यहाँ पे. मतलब पहला और सेकंड मैच में जो जीतेगा, थर्ड मैच में वो दोनों को जाके फेस करना पड़ेगा, एक दूसरे से खेलना पड़ेगा, और जो हार गया वो चला गया. कोई ना नेक्स्ट ईयर इस ईयर ही एक और इवेंट होगा उसमें ही देख लेंगे ये तो फर्स्ट टाइम था क्या जी का पहला इवेंट था ये
I'm no doctor, but I can patch a bullet hole or two. Let me know if you need healing.
अच्छा खेला मुझे तो अच्छा लगा उन लोगों का परफॉर्मेंस पहले वाला मैच में थोड़ा कुछ प्रॉब्लम था लेकिन सेकेंड वाले मैच से उन लोगों ने बहुत चेंजेस किए एक्चुअली ये सब ई स्पोर्ट्स मैच में ना प्रेडिक्शन नहीं होता ब्रो तो सेकेंड मैच में कौन होगा वो अभी से प्रेडिक्ट नहीं कर सकते सभी इतना नेक टू नेक अच्छा खेलता है ना तुम प्रेडिक्ट नहीं कर सकते कि ये वाला प्लेयर अच्छा खेलेगा कोई भी अच्छा खेल सकता है कोई भी मतलब एक मैच में एक बंदा 0 किल पे बैठा है सेकेंड मैच में जाके वो 20 किल 30 किल मार देगा मतलब ऐसे लेवल का कंपटीशन होता है तो तुम कुछ प्रेडिक्ट नहीं कर सकते second match of VLT second match का top fragger I think second match का top fragger ये था V का ही कोई था
One dead.
Remaining.
One down.
Five kills remaining.
Finish.
Dominating. One kill remaining. Match found.
Time to stock back up.
Fight!
Fight! Eliminated. Omen killed. Good attempt. One dead. We turn to dust. Satisfying. Opponent killed.
Ten kills remaining. Dominating. 5 kills remaining.
Enemy down. You fought well. Jet grounded.
One kill remaining. Match found.
My priority is their suffering.
Fight!
I want to see you fall. One down.
kills remaining.
Brave us.
Five kills remaining. One kill remaining.
No charges left. No charges left. What's this? No charges left.
As events unfold globally, we are, of course, saddened, and our hearts go out to everyone in Syria as well as Turkey who have been impacted by this. And we, of course, hope for nothing but the best and provide our love and support for everyone around the world. Thank you so much. And thank you to RRQ as well for taking the time to be able to sit back and reflect on this moment alongside their brethren from Turkey. Thank you so much once again. That being, you know, obviously a thing that weighs on these players, right? It's something that, you know, and talking to a lot of these players, whether it be, you know, from BBL, for example, chatting with our dear friend Vlad, there was obviously a lot of pressure on these players, but also for them, I think it's an opportunity to make their countrymen proud, regardless of the result, because they're here right now, putting it all out there on the stage, and ultimately that is all, you know, that we can hope for.
Yeah, and obviously continue to support as well, because it's an ongoing situation. So it is on the minds, but now they got to play this match, and
130 शुरू होना था ये थोड़ा late हो गया.
Here we go. Single elimination tournament.
That's right.
And it's all here.
You know, both teams, and I think FUT Esports would want it no other way. They would want RRQ to play them hard, go at them, do everything that they can to pick up this win, because we all know that that is exactly what FUT Esports are going to do against RRQ here today, Mimi.
If anything, it means even more for them right now to go out there, play their best,
RRQ
show what they have been preparing,
RRQ जीतना चाहिए.
try and win.
Let's see.
Try and stay in it. Of course, RRQ doing exactly the same.
RRQ बहुत अच्छा team है.
All right, well,
Let's see.
as both players get into their huddles and they get ready to go, we are going to dive into our Prime Gaming Agent Select as soon as we are ready. Oh, excuse me, our map vetoes as soon as we're ready to go here. And yeah, you know, Paul, I'm genuinely curious to see what we're going to get here from FUT. What have they really worked on in the off season to kind of give them a little bit of an advantage here against RRQ?
Yeah, it's interesting because I was actually seeing a lot of the maps that are gone now from the pool in there. But let's see, I've always thought Ascent is kind of a map that they like to rely on, and we have Lotus starting out for RRQ. We've already seen so many of the Pacific teams being comfortable playing this map. We just saw GE play it, and yeah, picking it right off the bat. No floating, nothing, just going right at them.
I think all these teams that are picking Lotus early, it is really a test of your opponent's off-season preparation. It's from your scrims. You have faith that the idea that you've implemented on that map is one that, even if it's not the optimal one, is one that can catch them by surprise enough to win that match. FUT will head to Pearl as the second map in the pool there. That's going to be another interesting one for them. Another map that we've seen quite a lot of thus far this tournament.
Yeah, and I'm really interested on what kind of comp they're going to bring out on Pearl as well, given the flexibility that 𝐒𝐒 has gone to, and we're having
reverse of map 1.
This is nice. I like
the
this.
reverse of map 1. We started off with Split, then we have Pearl, then we have Lotus. Now we're just flipping on its head. We're going right back around over here, Mimi. But do you think this is going to go to 3?
I think it's very possible. I think these teams are quite closely matched, but where a lot of this is going to come down to is what are the answers to this map on Lotus? We just saw 2 different compositions come out. One focused on the early gambits with the Raze, the Breach. One going for the Jet answer as well. There's a Reyna hover from RRQ. I mean, there's still comps that we probably haven't even seen yet.
Okay, well, let's see. A Reyna hover would blow my mind. Okay, well, we have Prime Gaming Agent Select here. Let's see what RRQ likes to do here.
I think let him cook. I think Reyna has potential on the map. I think the flashes are really good here. They have the Neon to take early fights, and that's what they're going for.
This is awesome.
Oh my goodness. Reyna Neon on this map is not something I thought I would ever see. And double Neon too, which is kind of a rare pick so far. This is going crazy. You have the Sage, the Paper X-esque thing that's going on.
ये भी 3 मैप ही जाएगा. दोनों ही बहुत अच्छे टीम.
Quite good.
2 brand new comps on the brand new map. We're going to get to see both these teams' answers. This is going to be exciting.
Oh boy, I love it, and I hope you guys are all strapped in for a wild ride. Let's go ahead and send it over to the hottest casting team in Brazil. Literally, 𝐒𝐿 is sweating. It's Pansy and 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐄𝐿.
It's warm-up here, GB. It's an exciting game. You know, you get a little moving.
He's one to talk as well.
Yeah,
about
to be
sweating.
fair, get him a solo, get it real close up and see how he's doing end of the day. Anyway, let's focus on the matchup at hand because I think I liked what Mimi said about this, at least map select-wise, that Lotus is quite indicative of that off-season prep. How well you're ready for this. You're coming in with some very unique compositions. I'm going to leave you to that Reyna choice because that's got to be at the forefront of your mind here.
It really is. I mean, Emin bringing this one out, it's the first time we've seen Reyna. This now means that we have seen every single agent in the pool having been played here. We'll see how they pilot this, but as Bala was touching on as well, Neon's on either side. These people going for that Raze instead, but right off the rip, here they come.
Yeah, there's going to be walls galore, but already, good start for RRQ. Going to deny 𝐒𝐒 any space, and he's one of the explosive players. If he gets that hot hand early, really starts feeling out the game, super deadly. Want to see how this Reyna works, so that is so at the tip of the list for me in this point. Now, as it stands though, RRQ comfortably taken towards site. There is a little bit of resistance, but it's been dealt with somewhat handedly. Good trade sites theirs. Flag planted, and as is the spike.
Reyna's on the board, now has that higher HP, given the Devour. Shadow's still gonna be taken down. Maj looking around here at the drop, managing to find an opening kill, gets 𝐒𝐿𝐿 in the head as well.
Nice.
And suddenly it's Emin. They 1v2, he finds the first.
It's one more and it's all his, but time creeping forces the swing and it's good. Football has somehow turned this around. That early fight looked perfect coming out from RRQ. They had everything they wanted.
A fantastic shutdown on 𝐒𝐒 to kick things off, but a fantastic turn at the end as 𝐒𝐿𝐿𝐿 just manages to find that last kill. Felt like Emin had that one in his grasp, but it gets stolen away. That's the first round out. Let's see if Flip can hold on to this next one or if it gets snatched away from him, much like we saw 𝐒𝐿_esports in the previous set. But a great retake and a great way to start off the series.
And a sigh of relief for FUT as well. Just getting comfortable on the stage. Yes, we have seen them break out occasionally into some more international events, but they certainly do not have comfort on a stage like this. There's certainly a little bit more pressure to it. We have seen them have issues in the past.
मेरी का टीम नहीं है bro. यहाँ पे मैं बहुत ही neutral देख रहा हूँ. मेरा जो टीम था वो तो आउट हो गया जी कि जी को सपोर्ट कर रहा था तो आउट हो गया. लेकिन ना ये बहुत अच्छा लगता है देखना. बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है.
Looking for those headshots. Nano swarms in response in case he swung out a little bit wider. Continue to try to hover around that.
Yeah, I think RRQ को advantage है.
Here's Mr. Ball and finds one, but Emin swings around the corner, gets him with the Sheriff.
No trade, the slow, allowing that spacing to sit favorably, at least for now, towards FUT, and the rotations have been brought in. 3 players now posted towards that C site. Yes, they have left 𝐒𝐒 over towards A just because of the presence earlier from 𝐿MIMOR, but as it stands, they can re-explore the map. See if Krax gets anything off that. Certainly does. So information, obviously the door noted as well, so it's not too subtle at this point. Still have that utility in place. Finally removed at about the 40-second marker. They could potentially try and pull another pick here. Let's see what they can find. Does anyone get over-aggressive? Does anyone get caught out?
Just barely been able to see Maj there either way. With the Vandal in hand. Take a shot to the chest, but wins out in the fight. Now it's just the 2 last players standing. Flipshadow and 𝐒𝐿𝐿, the veterans for the side of RRQ. Try to get this
नहीं नहीं bro, वो girl event अलग से होता है.
But 𝐒𝐒 swings the corner. They find the eliminations, and that's going to be a 2-0 start for Foot.
I have to say as well, Foot not getting overzealous there, not feeding too readily, not getting too ahead of themselves. Everyone being incredibly cautious. Yes, that was that initial trade towards the C site, but no pressure on them yet. I like that. I like seeing composure in this team. When I look at Football List, again, this is, because we've seen a fair amount of them in the EMEA region, I want to see discipline coming into effect. I want to see good spacing, good trading. All those fundamentals, I want to see them hold throughout this series. So far, composure kept, not too threatening in the second round. We didn't see the, Spectres or Stingers or anything beyond a couple of Sheriffs. So as it stands, RRQ still looking like they're working the map, getting the feel of it and the lay of the land. I still want to see
जीतने से सेकंड राउंड बहुत आसान हो जाता है क्योंकि इको में रहता है बहुत कम होता है कि सेकंड राउंड निकल रहा है
RQ, this is when they need to start building some momentum. Looks like it might be another fast hit out the gate.
ये राउंड में क्या होता है वही
देखो perfectly blind as we just have these cross
इसमें भी अगर if you जीत गया तो फिर
But there is one player ahead and EJ gets isolated. There's no trade. They're desperate for it to bottle swings. But Football is putting bodies towards us. They want that fight towards A-Long.
I mean, they just completely doused the ground with that slow field from the Sage. Just no way for Tabuttle to just get himself out of there. He manages to find the one kill. Let's see what MN and Flipshider can do to try to at least put a little bit more damage down onto the side of Footballist. Have themselves crept up all the way to A stairs. If he overswings and gets pinched, that's just going to be the spike stranded.
Yeah, Krax needs to be careful though as well. If he goes down, there's a deep hold towards CT could be potential. Oman doing exactly as required, as prescribed. Clear the site, ensure no one's around here. Holding for about 45 seconds. And this is what I want to see from Footballist though. No overextension, no over push here on your own, no untradeable kills. RRQ, what do you do with this now? You've been given a little bit of freedom. Spike is going down, so the time will be in their side.
I have a little bit of time, but one of the biggest things they need to do is get MN this kill. So you get the Devour off, get top back up. They're going to fault line, he's going to go for the swing. He's got them both lined up, but he just can't quite find the eliminations.
Yeah, spacing decent enough there for Footballist. It's going to ask a lot of it. Oh, no way. The paranoia. Zero vision, zero chance. Footballist again. They relinquish that A control. They fall back a little deeper, hold CT. You saw Cracks down there. They took the double swing towards stairs. They were fully equipped for what was going to be coming back their way. This is great so far. Converting the bonus here. Walking out with rifles galore. They got everything they wanted.
Yeah,
I think
middle is shutting down those pushes over towards Rubble on the A side have been looking really good so far. See how that continues, as it seems like that's widely just going to be Kiwi's playing ground, just constantly hovering around that side. But RQ are now swinging their sights over towards C, perhaps. See if they want to up the tempo, because they are going in. 4 Stingers, half armor, everybody just
Southeast Asia.
You got to say
I think Korea
fight over towards A. There's a lot of utility behind it, a lot of presence. This could be a quick response, maybe test that C site if that's what they think is
Korea या Singapore उस side से
as it stands, they're going to make it work with far less. They need a quick kill to make this actually count. The ball's going to at least temper the pace for a second, but the smokes are there. They want to utilize this.
Goes down for a brief moment. Tries to slide in. Oh, it's just going to be a stray shot through the smoke. Oh, that's disgusting from Atacupton. Takes them down. Spike still, however, going to be planted for RQ.
Indonesia.
See how they try to defend this now.
The retakes have been solid though from Footballist, but this time trying to get over-aggressive, overextend towards CT, and they get the fight they want. But the trade's still so good from Footballist.
Get the triple stack. Templeton will be able to take another one down with him. 3 members left standing. As Foot will be able to go ahead and counteract the Stinger by Rifle's going to be coming through for RQ, but they need to get something on the board here soon. Don't want to let this run away from you, especially on the attack half.
You're absolutely right. I've got to say, though, staying alive with 3 vast majority of these rounds, they've been keeping so many standing. They've been upgrading the rifles. The economy is so well situated. Crack's already on 7.2. You've got 5.8 towards the Sage out here. You've got the Res on board. You've got the lockdown there. They've got a lot going their way, and it's these retakes, again, I am just enamored with. So well composed, poised, not overextending, which is something we've question with some Turkish squads. They get very aggressive, hyper-aggressive, and when you have a player that can pop off, sometimes it looks really good, right?
Yeah.
But right now, the composure is sitting really nicely, dealing with the site takes coming out from RRQ that have been pretty deadly. They have been posturing towards taking some of these rounds.
They absolutely have been. Still need to see a little bit more involvement, though. EJ Flipshider at the moment, sitting there killless. Still 1 orb away, so maybe the game plan, as they have this timeout rolling, is going to be to try to get Flipshider either over to something, an orb, set him up for some kind of elimination, get that Rolling Thunder online, and use that so that they can break into the site.
honestly, give me a nice lurk. Give me something like that, because again, you have been getting the spike down. You have been doing really well in that regard.
Yeah.
You've been getting into those post plants. Give me something on the back line. Be disruptive. See what you can achieve in this. Again, we have been seeing that late positioning coming out from the rotations, though. They're not completely vulnerable to it, but I'd love to see a little bit of pressure to be disruptive towards it.
I mean, you're mentioning those lurks. 𝐒𝐿, he is the king of it on this team. I mean, he's the reason why you saw them be able to take that breeze away from Optic. He was such a thorn on their side, constantly hanging back when he was there with Boom Esports. If they can get into a site relatively cleanly, get that spike down, and 𝐒𝐿 is allowed to lurk back, catch people off guard, he can do an immense amount of damage here to the side of football. So we'll just have to wait and see if they can pull it off. We exit the timeout. Let's see what they've got cooked up for us.
Yeah,
so far, it's just that Omen TP that they have.
Flipside is one away, so that could be something to see if he can build towards this time around. Early smoke gets negated by EJ, so that's going to be space taken towards C, and a little bit of presence noted. That's, if anything, maybe going to cause some of these rotations to come into effect, sit deeper towards the sites. I don't mind Futbolist going through a little bit of the motions here, being responsive in kind, but I RRQ have come up with a plan to try and punish this.
They have to know that it's Flipshider, the one who manages to get that orb. Should fully expect that he's got the Rolling Thunder, and if he hadn't gotten the orb, well, he's got the Rolling Thunder now.
Feels like the first pick without a trade that we've had in a while. This is the perfect start for RRQ to potentially, I guess, oppose the narrative that we've seen so far.
And without Mr. Fallen, all that obfuscation, those smokes, able to really slow up these attacks onto the sites, that all goes away. So RQ should have a site just wrapped up in a bow for them, served up on a silver platter. Their sites right now are set to A.
I want to see if Kiwi's tempted to stick around, or if, yeah, backing away again, sitting a little bit deeper to the top side of site.
Actually,
but it's a fake. Yeah, this could be quite nice. Again, pressuring towards that B site. This could be good, especially with the ult now in effect. Should hold this down well. Does give space for the rest to come in, so we are back up to 5 standing now for Futbolist.
The lockdown is in. It's just around the corner. They would love to be able to try to take it out, but it's just way too risky, so they all back away as time ticks down. Lurk around the back, and it's Flipshider. Watching 𝐒𝐿 eliminated. Cracks taken down. Rolling Thunder now going to be used defensively here for the post plant. Then while he does get caught, he still manages to find a kill, and they will clean it up. RQ now on the board.
Love that. Pulled them around the map. It was so hard to pin them down. That early contact towards C. Yeah, they got that free pick, obviously, for RRQ through the smoke. You'll take it any day of the week you get it.
For sure.
Yes, the risk came up, but by that point, they're already tested towards A. They were showing a little bit of presence there, pulling these rotations out of position, and then hitting that B site so well. They had to respect the lockdown, yes, absolutely, but they were ready to come back into it too. The ult coming through just as required. So again, lovely time to stamp their authority onto the game, maybe hit the brakes on Futbolist, getting too much momentum beside them. But we noted the economy earlier, it was healthy. We're seeing the operator coming out now for Futbolist.
Yeah, on 𝐒𝐿 as well. See if we can get anything done. For now, it's just going to be backing away widely, surrendering the C site. Let's see where he decides to creep back up. Smoke is there, 3 people getting ready to push in. It's going to be Lear off the rip. He just continues to hold the angle, utilizing that pillar, making sure that he doesn't have that line of sight and doesn't get blinded.
All the smokes being invested so far from Futbolist. Fallen just about getting one back on now. Looking for that execute towards that B side. Let's see what the hold's looking like though. Moj is here, and you can see the utility is in place, but this is all being tested around the minute mark. This is fine. They still have time for a pump towards another side. And they're pulling players here.
Yeah, it looks perfectly intentional. Just put that pressure on B, burn out all of that KILLJOY utility, so if they have to do a last-second adjustment, they can. They don't have to worry about it. And now they're just shoving 𝐒𝐿 off these angles. Great relay ball out from EJ. Just denying him line of sight, but as that paranoia comes across, Maj is going to find Flipshider.
Yeah, and that's the spike now left somewhat unattended to. Spam comes in. They're looking to try and offset the timing here, playing back in ahead of this. Spike still on down. The perfect flash. Great work from Cracks. Swings in on, and now just one left standing in a 1v3. 20 seconds. This would need miracles to make happen.
It would be a monstrous clutch if he could pull it off with 67 HP and Op staring at you from Waterfall. The odds are definitely stacked against him, and now he's only got 12 seconds. Pushes up, will find one. The up shot whiffs. He needs to either take the fight or go for the plant. Doesn't have it. tries to swing out, and of all things, it's a classic that finishes it. 𝐒𝐄𝐒 just turns the tide right back into their favor.
Yeah, that pendulum swings right back through, doesn't it? They should be able to still get some sort of purchase for RRQ. I want to see what they go for. There will be some missing elements here, but this time super responsive. I love that little counter hit almost towards the side here. The pop flash through the smoke, just perfect, and Cracks making the most of it. Again, individually, I have to say it, we've been waiting a long time for the Turkish scene to have that team to really look good together.
Sure.
You've seen glimmers of it. We've seen the Turkish Jets come through. Early Valorant lifetime. We love to see what they brought out. Maybe this is the best look we've seen from them so far, but it's still early days. But a little bit of a pace change this time.
Pretty fast push up here into B. This time, 𝐒𝐿joy util fully dumped over towards C, just given that RQ have been widely swinging over towards that side of the map. Not getting too much of anything out here. Just a couple taps through that smoke. Mr. Fallen just praying for a stray headshot again.
And I like the adjustment, though. We do see the 𝐒𝐿joy utility now invested towards the C site. 𝐒𝐿joy's starting to get a little bit more confident as well, exploring the map, seeing the value of this in these individual fights. Just not favorable towards RRQ. They're not making any benefits on these isolated exploration missions. Now slowly building towards A, it's just going nowhere. A crumbly round this time, unfortunately. Not making any of those rifles find footing. So now, sadly, for Flipside, what are you meant to do with this? You've already got one player sat super deep towards the back of the way. That's going to be 𝐒𝐿joy. Posted up with that operator, and it's done. This is lovely work from Futbolist. I like these adjustments. I like these mid-round changes they're coming up with. This looks really solid.
Unfortunately for the side of RRQ, they have that double push getting ready to try to go and breach into B, but it just isn't really accompanied by much. You don't have that leer to try to lead them through, and then from there, it's just swing after swing, pick after pick for the side of Futbolist.
And that's dreamy stuff for a player like 𝐒𝐿joy. You give him these individual fights one by one.
Sure.
He's being hyper-mobile on the map too, which is great. I guess it works kind of nicely with the Neon, just swiftly getting through towards the sites, but really well implemented so far, quite safe with how he's playing it. But again, this time we've seen the money start to really crumble for RRQ. Prior times, we saw them kind of lean towards that early C contact and then kind of hit towards B as well. We see them being quite fluid with this, not afraid to get a little aggressive. So this could be a little bit maybe of a chance here for them, but I'm worried at 6-1, it does start feeling a bit one-sided.
It definitely does. You can see them just, again, applying some pressure over here towards C Mound. They grab the orbital with Flipside, just trying to get another Rolling Thunder up during this half. Everybody shifts over, starts walking over towards B. Stinger's the Sheriff in hand. An overdrive at the ready for 𝐒𝐿joy. Being able to get a thrifty, I think, would be such a big momentum swing for them. If they could pull it off here, that's going to really put some wind in their sails. Give them some confidence.
Really nice burst towards the site. They are, oh no way, the setup again. They just aren't getting this pin down. This time Moj does find them, takes away that front line, but they are vicious about this. It's a 3v2, it's not over yet. And 𝐿𝐿joy is desperately fighting this out.
He's got the near ult depth, but now he's going to be taken down, and just before they can get the location reveal, 𝐒𝐿joy comes in to finish the job. I mean, a fantastic attempt at a thrifty, even with 𝐒𝐿joy dying right off the rip to those nanoswarms. 𝐿𝐿joy says, get in the backpack, I'm carrying. 3 fantastic shots from him, but unfortunately, it is a double ult commitment there at the same time here for RQ.
And this is one of those frustrating rounds too, because you feel like, oh, we're just on that verge, so close by, forcing a fair amount of utility out of Futbolist, forcing them to invest that ult from 𝐒𝐿joy, trying to playing safety net on it because it started to get out of hand there. But again, it falls short. It's still just slipping away from them. They do have a buyback in, and we see the madness once again over towards A.
But it's 𝐒𝐿joy who finds that first kill. Typical able to trade one back. Paranoia going to go crashing across as he swings wider out behind Rubble. Yeah, he will fight out of Cupton, but no. 𝐿𝐿joy taken down, trying to get that slow creep into B. Again, the veterans remaining, but the veterans continue to deliver.
SubhaJiT is so clean as well. Loving the work in this round. Cracks back to the wall.
Do they read this?
But the flank's coming in. It feels inevitable. Mr. Fallen is on the way. And RRQ have paused for thought here.
The wall's still blocking, but it's getting ready to dissipate. Jump up over the top, finds one. 𝐿𝐿joy now needs to ace if they want to get a second round on the board. He's got the spike. He's tipping across, gets himself into C.
Yeah, playing it safe, playing it smart. It buys him time. Now, obviously, he doesn't 100% know where Cracks may be, but he's got a good read, it feels. How does he position in this? He has a little bit of freedom to play with, but that is now gone. He's heard him.
Taking the door. 𝐿𝐿joy, does he actually aggro swing this? It looks like he's thinking about it. He's considering it. Knife goes out. He's happy to get hit by it, and as he goes for the fight, it's Cracks who comes away with the win.
Heartbreak for 𝐿𝐿joy to be that close, that close. But you gotta say, try and take a 1v1 duel against Turkish players in clutches. You're brave, I'll give you that. And sadly, again, so close. How many of these rounds are down to one player now, like getting on the site, getting the plants they need, the brawls they need, and it just slips away?
They're right on the cusp of being able to rack up a couple extra rounds. Heroic moves there from 𝐒𝐿. Just need a little bit more from the rest of the team. And you do have to keep in mind that these are three very unknown players on the global stage here in 𝐿MeMore, and as well as EJ. They don't have that much experience, and they're very reliant on the guidance of Flipstrider and 𝐒𝐿 to get themselves, mentally prepared for a tournament of this caliber.
And this is probably one of the most prepared games I've seen from Futbolist, it feels like, or the most adjusted. I'm seeing great things from them already. This is wonderful news. Fallen, though, on an island still. Oh my god, the value of this man! The utility work is divine, the support systems are there, and RRQ are in tatters.
Fortunately, it's just a little bit late, that swing off the Lear. They don't get themselves in there, they don't get that punish, and they allow for Mr. Fallen to be able to stabilize and find those two crazy kills. Push out, and 𝐿MeMore just, again, trying to get himself into a position where he can get the jump on somebody, but 𝐒𝐒 just continues to have the right read, continues to hold the right angles. And now it's just 𝐒𝐿 with a judge. Grab an orb, eat the knife, see what he can do.
Temptation just a few steps away, but that step may as well have been miles at that point. Grax shuts it down, and sadly for RRQ, close but no cigar. All of these times we're seeing it 9-1 now. The scoreline is just drastically in favor of Futbolist. But this is the one thing I will say. Seeing the veto, when I saw Ascent being banned, I thought, what the hell is Futbolist doing? If you know any Turkish Valorant, that was their mainstay, their stronghold, one of their best maps to lean towards ever. Always good, always competitive. If they've been back in the lab and reworking map pools, reworking everything, we could.
I won't be talking to you again until after this map.
Yeah, and I think for Futbolists, they are living large, right? They have everything favorable to them. The ults are sitting pretty. You got 3 to play with here. Yes, missing out on the res and I guess the Neon ult, but again, the money's flush. They're not particularly dependent on anything. They couldn't have asked for a better debut here. I think maybe correcting some opinions or predisposed notions towards Futbolists, but for RRQ, it's a little bit of a stun coming through, leaving him a little bit in trouble here. Now you're starting to see Futbolists getting a little bit more aggressive, exploring the map a bit more. Seeing Fallen set into motion here. Nice little flash over towards C, but it's cleared. They know now exactly what's coming. They should be able to sit accordingly towards this. It's a different look for sure, but again, we haven't seen them make progress this far. Okay, it's not bad. This should be a competitive round.
Yeah, this time Futbolists don't have that heavy stack defensive setup over towards A, so RRQ are able to get themselves up to the door with relative ease. A little bit of tap damage as well. Did force the heal out of Captain. So now it's going to be the rolling thunder perhaps out onto the side. Looks like they decide to hold this one. The fault line, however, still manages to clip him.
How's he alive? He's got everything. If he gets a kill, I'm done. Okay. The man is, oh my god, the TP and the body spray as well to boot. The lockdown's still into play. They have to evacuate and make it quick.
But they can just cut over straight into B. EJ finding the kill as well onto Krax. And now the spike will just be ushered in. 𝐒𝐒 able to find one more. But he might also think that he's safe from behind, and that could be a potential lurk in from 𝐒𝐿 to get in around the backside.
First time with huge favorable numbers. They're sat in this post plant. That operator tricky to bring into these right positions. Wait and see if Moj can find some success maybe, but again, they're not being given anything. RRQ are going to hold on to this with both hands, desperately trying to at least claw a second round on the board. Moj clearing as best he can, but you noted it. Even the back line there, in case that fight went wrong, 𝐒𝐿 was ready for the swing. And now the final player for 𝐒𝐒. I mean, money is flush, but why would you give it away for free?
Yeah, definitely don't want to do that. So we'll just go ahead and hold on to this one. Still the creep around here from 𝐿MeMore. And he's got him.
Really nice.
So if nothing else, well, you might not be able to do too much denting to the economy here, the side of Futbolists, especially given that it's the last round. can also get that one extra charge over towards the neural depth, which is just 2 away. Right now, it's looking like that's going to be maybe one of the more useful ultimates that they can possibly get in this final round and a half. Frustration being taken out there by 𝐒𝐿𝐿, spraying down against Mr. Fallen. Look now to see just how they're going to be able to make this a 9-3 and then believe in some curses. Dagger off the top, only catches 1. Cyber cage up. More just slow lurking. They're gonna start rotating slightly off A into stairs. Still 3 nearby, however. Didn't quite catch if that connector door has been destroyed yet. It has not.
A little bit of a pace change though. RRQ slowing things down this time. We haven't seen Fublis particularly put off by this though. They have pulled the rotation from 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐒, so he is present on the A side, so this could be really quite good towards C as it stands. But again, this is no discredit to 𝐒𝐿𝐻's utility. That has been divine. He's been doing serious damage, offsetting the timing, isolating fights really well, and buying time for rotations, because right now he is a mile away from anyone else. As it stands, RRQ should have the go-ahead, aside from this utility now.
Does slow them up, fault line.
Oh, the paranoia!
Connect. He pulls back to the back of sight. He's going to try to get out of there. Looks like he will be able to do so. We should just have this 5v5 for the attempted retake now, assuming that they can get the spike down. It's good damage out of the cracks to begin. 7 HP, Mr. Fallen going to be picked off, and here goes 𝐒𝐿𝐿 on a nice little lurk around the back. Does get spotted by an alarm bot.
Yeah, still a little bit of fight in them yet though. 𝐒𝐿𝐻 in combination. It's a 2v2, 15 seconds. And where's the spike going?
Sprinting it over towards B. They just run it down. 𝐒𝐿𝐿 again wants to get himself in a spot where he can potentially catch some people off guard. Heard the slide. 𝐒𝐿𝐻 should not be ready for this, but he is. The swap to the Phantom, absolutely crucial.
And now the 1v2. So much pressure. Give them that gateway, that slither of hope. The first, but the ult in the back. 𝐒𝐿𝐻 keeps Futbolist heading for success. 10 rounds to be etched on the board.
And that's a brutal one. A brutal hand to be dealt here for RRQ. Coming out in your international debut with his new team on your map pick of Lotus. You only have to hope from here that they have some great defense protocols and strategies set up.
Demolition.
This was definitely not what they were looking for. So close, this very easily could have been a 6-6, a 7-5. Just getting it right to the knife's edge, but unfortunately haven't been able to close them out.
Futbolist certainly turning heads here at 10-2, but there's certainly more to come.
𝐒𝐿𝐻 at the end of that game said,